Buff Nation, what's up? BWB, all my bandwagon buffs. I got my bandwagon shirt on today, yes, sir. What up, guys? Hope all is well. Welcome to TLP Sports Club. You are now watching TLP Live. This is Free for All Friday. I am your host. That is Harry Billion. Without the billion, without the brr, it's just Harry Billion, okay? Harry B. I go by Harry B. So today I have a question. Excuse me. The question that I have for you is, has Colorado checked all the boxes for you this year? This 2024 Colorado team, have they checked all of your boxes, or is there one essential question that Colorado football of 2024 has not answered for you yet? And if so, what is that question? We're in church today. It sounds like church. We're going to church today. Actually, we're not. Let me not use the church name in vain, okay? But yeah, so what is that question? Today, we're going to be talking about the different nuances still surrounding Colorado football. We're talking about a few things. I want to start the show off with this Richard Sherman situation. I'm sure if y'all haven't talked about it, or I'm sure you're probably exhausted it already. People talked about it in your different corners, and you've done everything you can, but this is my opportunity for you to help me out. Let's talk about that Richard Sherman situation. I'll play it, and then we can talk about it. Let's start the show off with this. Before I get too far into the show, I got to do the housekeeping stuff, the business stuff. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. I really appreciate you subscribing to the channel. There are two channels that I am streaming on. I am streaming on this channel, which is the normal channel, the TLP Sports Club channel. I'm also streaming. If you look in the chat, it says Billionaires Mindset. All right. I'm streaming on that channel as well. That is my polysocial channel where I talk about politics and culture and religion. I try to mesh all three of those things: politics, culture, and religion, and what God has to say about things that we are facing. Like our mayor, the mayor of New York, right? The situation that's happening. I talk about all of those things. Now, when you go there, I don't have anything up to date. Currently, I've been doing more politics, but I am streaming over there as well. I don't want to go too far into that. So thank you so much for helping me out on that channel. But yeah, Colorado football. There's still some questions for me. And there are questions that even Colorado loyalists, people who are in the Colorado broadcast system, people who are official in the Colorado broadcast system, they have questions too that Colorado hasn't answered. But there's one major question that Colorado hasn't answered. Dale, what up with you? What is that question for you? Can y'all tell me what is that question for y'all? All right, so let's go. Let's get started. We'll talk more about those questions in the show today. Again, it is Free for All Friday, so different things are going to come up, and we're going to discuss it. We're going to talk about a little bit more nuances today. The last show was mostly about, Dell says, consistency. That's a good one, Dell. So yeah, we're going to talk about a lot more nuances today in today's show. All right, I'm blessed to be able to do my show at 12:15 today. Start my show at 12:15, a little bit late, but just blessed to be able to do my show because my schedule, like I told you guys, my schedule is really, really weird. So anytime I get to do my 12 o'clock show, I'm very blessed, and I praise God. All right, so let's share this with Richard Sherman talk, and then we'll go from there. Let's start the show off with this. Before I keep saying this. If you want to come on the show, you have anything to say, you want to add to the conversation, guys, right there on your screen, you just look right above my head. It says join TLP Live at gmail.com. Join TLP Live at gmail.com. That is the email, guys. All right. You email me if you haven't been on the show. It's your first time. the requirements are. I don't care if you like the Buffs or not. You can come on here. You can have a difference in opinion. The only thing I require is that human stuff that Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, require us to do. Love that neighbor. Respect your neighbor. You know what I'm saying? Just be respectful of other people's opinions. We're not going to talk over each other. We're not going to be mad and go crazy and cuss each other out. There's no cuss words on this channel. We don't cuss at all. I may say some alternative cuss words like heck and dang and stuff like that, but there's absolutely no cuss words. So if you come on to the show, please respect the rules of the house. But come on and let's have a conversation, all right? The email again is jointlplive@gmail.com. jointlplive@gmail.com. Please write it down. I'm going to take it off the screen. And if you don't remember it, just type in the comments and say, Harry, please put up the email again. I don't remember it. All right, here it goes. Let's go ahead and take that off the screen, and let's get started with the show. Let's go. Richard Sherman, what you got to say? Okay, what you got to say? So, Richard Sherman made this comments about Travis Hunter. Let's discuss Travis Hunter at the top of the show. Travis Hunter is a blend receiver. So let's go. Is it okay? So the audio. Let's go with the audio up.
When it's time for him to get paid, and he could do it, but as a receiver, I just think million. When it's time for him to get paid, and he could do it, but as a receiver, I just think he'd kind of blend.
Should be drinking no lean. I'm already half dead. Give a fuck. I'm a gangster.
Okay, that song. I said no cussing, and then the song. Whoever did this matchup, if he's bland, then this is pretty much. Does this look bland to you? Basically, right? That's what I want to talk about. I've had outside conversations, offline conversations about Travis Hunter. Do y'all think he's bland? Do y'all think Travis Hunter is bland? And don't just give me the, I'm a Travis Hunter fan or a Colorado fan, so I don't think he's bland. Give me a true football answer. If you are a football purist, is Travis Hunter a bland receiver? Like, he's what? Is he 6'1", I think, or 6 feet tall? Is he bland? Is Travis Hunter a bland receiver? Is he the type of receiver who's going to get locked up by corners or DBs in the NFL? And I believe personally that the reason why a lot of people are kind of speaking on him is because, number one, when you are being spoken of as being the best, that's going to come with some talk. That's going to come with somebody's checking you, And Richard Sherman being one of the more prolific corners in recent years, right, in the NFL with the Seattle Seahawks, he felt like, even though he hasn't really lined up against Travis Hunter and he hasn't really, went against him, and he's probably never going to happen. So, but he feel like, he's as a receiver, he's not all that. He's okay, but he's not all that. Okay. There are other receivers, maybe taller, bigger, better, that can run faster and that can jump a little higher than Travis Hunter. So as a receiver, he's just all right. He's mid, or I don't know how you translate bland. I don't know what that means. He's okay. I think that's what bland means. He's okay. As a corner, he's probably not a lockdown corner. But my takeaway is Travis Hunter is one of the best college football players so far, right, in this year. But I don't know that Travis Hunter has to be the best college football player, right? He doesn't have to be. Because one of the arguments that I've had offline is this. If the NFL only takes the best of the best, then why is it that we have teams that are not as good as other teams, right? Because you got your Georgias, you got your Alabamas, you got your Ohio States, you got all these great teams that put out all these great football players every single year. Yet the final product, which is the NFL, when you get to the NFL level, you still got teams that have issues, quarterback issues. You got teams that don't have all the pieces together. So if the NFL is supposed to be the best of the best, then why is it that we still have bland receivers, bland corners, bland secondaries, bland O-lines, right? Like, what gives? Because you're not supposed to take the worst. You're supposed to take the best of the best. So what you telling me? Can somebody make sense of that for me? Because if you look at Georgia's offensive line, you look at Texas's offensive line, all of the 32 teams in the NFL are taking the best of these offensive lines, the best of these defensive lines, the best of the wide receivers, yada, yada, yada. And you're going down the line and you're saying, let's go. I'm going to give you millions of dollars to play for me. And there are offensive linemen, defensive linemen, wide receivers, running backs, cornerbacks, yada, 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 that do not get chosen every year. So is it that these guys are choosing really poorly? The ones that don't get picked are the ones that should be getting picked. But yet when you go into the NFL, some teams are better than others. What gives? Where do they do that at? Where do they do that at? Because you are picking from the best of the best, the creme de la creme. Where they do that at where you still got teams that are not better than the others, right? Or that are not as good as the others. All right. So the question is, Travis Hunter. Does Travis Hunter have to be the best player, or his skill set is good enough to handle his business in the NFL? Let's talk about that. They're not sending. Hold on. Let me. Okay, give me a second, please. Let me make sure. So let me give you a reason why I believe Travis Hunter is not bland. Travis Hunter is the type of receiver that you can trust in any situation. When the game is on the line, you throw the ball to Travis Hunter. You know that either 80 or 90% of the time, if that ball is thrown correctly, or maybe it doesn't even have to be thrown correctly, in his direction. Let's just put it that way. If you throw that ball in Travis Hunter's direction, and I don't know if it was not the CSU, we had the CSU game. If you throw that ball in a weird spot, Travis Hunter can bend his body in weird ways and go get the ball. Travis Hunter may not be the best, right? Even though the media is saying he's the best college football player, but when you match up the skill for skill when it comes to lockdown corners or wide receivers in the individual categories, right? Overall, he's the best college football player. Hands down, bar none. There's nobody compares. But when you individualize the skill, when you single out the skill set, the wide receiver, is Travis Hunter the best wide receiver in college football? Let me hear y'all. If we individualize or we single out the skill sets, is Travis Hunter the best wide receiver first? The best wide receiver in college football? I know people haven't really seen that I'm online, that I'm live yet, so it's gonna take some time for my people to find me. So y'all that are here, our time, Dell, Viral Authority, y'all help me. Let's have this conversation until people show up, until they get. But y'all can also press like, and more people will find us. More people will see. Oh, Harry B's live, TLP's live. All right, so y'all press that like button, guys, to help us out. All right, so Dell said yes, he's the best wide receiver. Are you sure? Okay, let me ask you the question. Are you sure that he's the best wide receiver, or can you be honest with me? Like, just be honest. All right, like let's have some fun. Be honest. You're a Colorado fan, and you think he's the best wide. Is that because you're a Colorado fan, or you're a Travis Hunter fan that you're saying he's the best wide receiver, or you are a good evaluator of talent, and you think that Travis Hunter is better than T-Mac with Arizona? He's better than there's like a lot of wide receivers in on different teams. But I know T-Mac is one person that I would say, hands down, like if you were putting T-Mac and Travis Hunter against each other, I think T-Mac is a problem. But I mean, so T-Mac is just one example. So you think across college football, Travis Hunter, Viral 30, and Dell, you think that Travis Hunter is the best wide receiver in college football? Just don't be, if you weren't thinking with a bias thinking, like, I'm a fan of his. I like the fact that he's humble. He doesn't do too much talking. All of those reasons why we like Travis Hunter. If you set those aside, and being a Travis Hunter or a Colorado fan or a Coach Prime fan, can you tell me that Travis Hunter is the best wide receiver, notwithstanding anything else that he does? Our time says Mel Kiper said it plain and simple. Put Shador or Travis on any other good team and watch what happens. That withstanding, I guess. So Harry, only see 2 people in the chat. Triple cross. I don't see no. I'm sorry. Come on, guys. You're getting sensitive. I don't see just 2 people in the chat. Those are the 2 people that were talking at the time. Triple. My bad. Ain't nobody triple teaming T-Mac. Let the facts be the facts. Well, is that because nobody's triple teaming him? Is that the reason? I just wanted to be real, for real, like not any type of warm and fuzzies for Colorado. What do you think, Triple Cross? What do you think? The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Oh man. Is Travis Hunter the best? Hold on, what you said? See my comment. Oh, okay. He has, okay, let's see him. He has the clutch gene. Name another cornerback, college football wide receiver that can consistently make plays. T-Mac, like, yeah, T-Mac can literally consistently make plays, like, for sure. So, and again, this is my only that's my only example so far. Okay, I'm not flexing on nobody else. I'm just saying, like, so far. I'm just using T-Mac from McMillan from Arizona. That's the only person that I'm currently using. It ain't that, it ain't that we don't, college football doesn't have any more. I'm just using that. All right. But I agree with Viral 30. Travis Hunter is clutch. All right. He's reliable. He's consistent. But I don't think that makes him the best, right? I don't think that makes him the best. I think because he have the other skill set, you go for him first. Like, he's overall the best football player. Like, he's a natural athlete. So to me, Travis don't have to be the best. I think Travis's mechanics are any team that wants somebody who is going to almost it's like a guarantee, right? You don't see an Art Monk in the draft. If knowing what Art Monk is capable of, I'm always going to use Art Monk. Okay, I'm saying my age a little bit, but you don't see an Art Monk type in the draft and pass him up, because third downs, right? Third downs and clutch situations, your quarterback gets in trouble. You need somebody that your quarterback is always going to, like, you need somebody to be able to help your team in clutch situations, in dire situations. I don't know, because I don't know all the other teams as well. I would say, if I was to line Travis Hunter up against other wide receivers in any situations, I may be able to trust T-Mac and other wide receivers, but Travis is the one wide receiver that I know for sure that I can trust him in any situation. I don't care if the ball is poorly thrown, if it's too low to the ground. You know what I'm saying? Like, my son plays football right now. He's 9 years old. God bless his heart. All right. So like, he's at this point where he's just being introduced to football, very first year. So now they're like, they know that he's athletic, so they try him in different positions now. But, like, you throw him the ball. If that ball is not perfectly thrown, right now he's still in the stage where he's afraid of the ball. So it's like this, he's trying to figure it out. He's trying to see his, what's going on. So you got receivers like that where the ball has to be perfectly thrown for them to be great. With Travis Hunter, the ball does not have to be perfectly thrown. He is the type of player that understands the what was the word? I just had the word, but I lost the word. He understands the moment, and he knows that every play counts. He never takes a down off. So that makes him special. But to me, it doesn't have to translate to being the best. I think it's just if you are a general manager, you're somebody, you're a coach, you're a head coach in the NFL, and you're looking for a special player, somebody who understands moments, big moments, little moments. It takes every moment seriously and doesn't take a play off. Travis Hunter is that guy. I don't know of another player in the draft this year, the 2024 draft or 2025 draft, that has that ability to just be special. And then his IQ on another level, the fact that he plays DB, he's able to do that as well. He understands what DBs are going to be going against him, what DBs are going to be trying to do for him. So his IQ is another thing. So the whole idea about Richard Sherman, I think that was just kind of like, he was more so talking about his ability on his ability or somebody else's ability who may have the same ability, or let's just say elite NFL DBs covering him. In his eyes, he sees Travis Hunter as just another receiver, right? But for those reasons that I just said, that separates him from just another receiver, because I think there are lazy receivers that are really great. I think there are great receivers that are lazy. And Travis Hunter is not lazy. This guy is like a LeBron James when it comes to preparing his body, his stamina, his endurance, preparing himself to play both sides. And it's not going to be realistic to play him more than 20 snaps on one. If he's taking a heavy load on the defense, it's not realistic to play him more than 20 some snaps on the offense. And then I would say vice versa, because it takes a toll on your body. The hits are different. You're playing the best of the best. You're not playing some mid teams, right? There are no CSUs. Well, I guess the NFL does have its CSUs, which is kind of weird, right? Anyway, let me bring on my guy Tim so he can help me with this show, because you guys are sleeping. Where y'all at? Y'all at work? Are y'all good at work? It's Friday, guys. It's payday for somebody. Tim, what up with you, man? How you doing today, brother?
Hey, what up, man? What's happening, Harry? How you doing on this Friday, bro?
Dallas is in the building. How is Dallas, Texas?
It feels good here right now. I mean, it's 81 degrees.
Nice.
It ain't 100 degrees like it normally been. So it's nice, sunny. We consider this good weather, man. 81. It ain't smoking. Cause I don't know if you ever been to Dallas, but it gets hot down here.
Yeah, I was at the TCU game, so I've been there.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I almost died.
I bet.
Bruh, and I'll explain it to you a little bit, like for people that don't know. When you're there, the heat, it's a slow burn. All right. You're not your body doesn't know until you know. You get to a certain point where your body says slow down. Like your body literally tells you, stop right now, or you about to find out. And bruh,
For real.
Yo, I was in that TCU stadium and my body said, stop right now, or something's about to happen. And I stopped and I sat my butt down. And then I started realizing my body temperature was starting to come back to normal, because I could tell that something was about to happen. It's no joke.
Yeah, you about to be looking for an EMT for real.
Yes, for sure. If I let's go see. If I kept doing that, I mean, I literally had to stop clapping, sit down, look straight forward, don't use not too many breaths. Like it was that bad. That's how Dallas, Texas weather is when it's really hot. I can't.
Yeah, we got dry heat. It's dry heat here, so there's not a lot of moisture. It's a lot of concrete, so it's dry heat. But like in Louisiana, Florida, I'm originally from Louisiana, but like Louisiana, Florida, the humidity down there, it'll take you away. Makes you, it's hot down there, but your
Yeah.
clothes, the humidity will have your clothes sticking to you. Like you can't
Huh.
get G'd up and think you finna go to the club at 9 o'clock at night, then stand in line. By the time you get in there, you look like a wet mop.
And your deodorant don't faded, and your body, that extra pore start happening. You're like, nah, bro, I ain't right. I gotta go to the bathroom and air off.
Real talk.
What do you think about this situation we're talking about, man? Travis Hunter, I believe that Travis Hunter does not have to be the best. I believe his mechanics and his athleticism, who he is, what he brings to the table, his preparedness, his awareness, all of those things makes him very highly desirable. And what are your thoughts on that? And then, of course, what Sherman said.
Richard Sherman need to go be a co-host with Jason Whitlock. He like one of
Wait,
the biggest.
you're feeling it like that? You're feeling like that?
Bro, he is one. That right there was clickbait, man. In my opinion, once I first heard it, I said, dang, I can't believe Richard Sherman just said this. Like, bro, are you clickbaiting? Are you trying to start a podcast like Shannon Sharp and some of the other NFL guys? Like, what is your motive? Like, did you replay that and to listen? Like, bro, you sound so crazy right now. Like, to say that he's bland? Really? Richard Sherman was good as a zone defender.
Mm-hmm.
He was no lockdown cover zero defender. He was a great zone defender in the NFL. Travis
So
Hunter.
what are you saying? Hold on. What are you saying? This is how I felt. I felt like he was just speaking his truth. I don't think he was trying to talk about how great he is and he would have locked down Travis. I just felt like he was speaking the truth, but his truth came across a little bit harsh. And let's play this. Let's be fair, because there has been an apology of sorts, right? So let's go ahead and cover the apology. Yeah, let's go ahead and cover the apology as well, because I don't want it to be one-sided, like it's some hate. Because you coming in hot, bro. I ain't gonna hold you.
I ain't even finished yet.
I know you did, but I'm trying to make sure that we don't start no war. I'm just trying to have a decent conversation. I ain't trying to start no war. Let's you coming in hot. So hold up. Tim is ready for that. He got Tim is saying, okay, I'm about to light him up. Hold up. Let's treat it the way it's supposed to be treated. Let me just make sure. I'll let you finish, but let me just make sure that we on point with this. Oh man, you say he's clickbaiting, he's trying to start a podcast. Dang. Is there not room enough for everybody?
If I did anything wrong, it just kind of hurt me.
All right, here
Yeah,
goes.
we talked on the phone,
Amen.
Yeah, man. Just, hey, like you said, we just,
Phone.
yeah, we talked on the phone,
Amen.
Yeah, man. Just, hey, like you said, we just, he ain't mean for to go out that way, that type of no negative energy, He was telling me that he watched me a lot, but, I grew up watching 49ers my favorite team when I was growing up, so, that was low-key our rival, the Seahawks, playing DB. I modeled my game after him when I was younger, so, yeah, because, he was locked down DB. So, yeah, man, you just know. He's telling me to apologize, I said the apology. I ain't mean for, if I did anything wrong, it just kind of hurt me because I look up to him. So that's pretty much what it was.
Amen. Phone.
All right, so go ahead, finish your thought. You can add this in there. I just don't want it to be like, oh my God, we're hating on Richard Sherman. But go ahead, my guy.
Like, that's what I said. Like, what was going through your head, bro? Like, you clearly know that this kid is clutch.
Very clutch.
He's not bland by far. And here are a couple of reasons why I say that.
What is bland, by the way? What does bland mean?
Average.
Oh, so it's like mid?
Mid.
Word?
Yes,
that's what that means?
Yes, bro. That's exactly
I wasn't taking bland to mean that. I thought bland was like he's good, but he ain't like it's a little bit above average. He's like no flavor. He's like okay. So Dell said bland means no flavor. So then what would be flavor then? What the heck
flavor? Did he not just see North Dakota State game? The catch that he made where his body was twisted, He caught the ball behind him, and the defender was all over him.
That was CSU.
What? Yeah, okay. No, that was North Dakota State.
You talking about that bent catch, right?
That
was
bend catch, bro.
That's North Dakota. No, that's CSU. That was CSU. He made that bend catch, and then he made another catch in the end zone when number 11 Blackman or Blackson or whatever his name is came and tried to slap him after he made that catch. That wasn't CSU.
Right. No, that was the corner of the end zone. The one that he made. He caught 2 touchdowns. 2 touchdowns, right? Game
that
1
was
against
CSU.
North Dakota. Huh? NDSU, right?
No, that was CSU.
No, I'm talking about the first game of the season. The first game of the season, that touchdown that Travis made with his body turned around to his right with the defender all over him.
All right, we'll fact check that later, but go ahead, finish your thought. Because I thought that was the CSU game. I didn't know that was the first game. The bend catch.
No, that was that was the first game of the season.
You might be right.
But,
you might be right. Go ahead.
Drop it in the comments chat. What y'all think? I think it's NDSU game though. But anyway, what I'm saying was that's an ESPN highlight, man. They still to this day, we going in the game. I mean, week 5, and they still talking about that catch. Like, what makes you a great receiver? Like, he doesn't necessarily have to have the speed like Tyreek Hill.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? What makes you a good receiver is your route running ability.
Right, but DC said that his route running ability was blend, not his play as a whole.
And okay, that further tell me that, bro, what is your motive? Like, you crazy. He's a DB. He's a defensive back. He understands defenses. So if you playing me inside, and I know the route that I'm going to run, but I also know how you positioning me
to run,
to run my route. So, but I'm still gonna run my route the way that I want to do to get open. So
if DC's right, then yeah, that's cap. if he was talking about his route running, then that's straight cap.
Hands. Let's talk about hands. Good hands. Travis got some of the best hands in college football.
No, I don't know about some of the best hands. He has the best.
Yeah. Well, I would say, real talk. He has the best hands in college football.
And I would argue that one all day. That part, bruh, like the catches he makes are purposeful. It ain't no, you can't, like, you gotta first see him in you gotta see him on the TV, but you gotta see him one time in your life, in real life. I've had both, and I'm telling you, it's a special thing to see. There ain't no fakery about it. Travis is the real deal. Like, I don't know. There are some players that, you know, people hype up, and then when you watch them, they don't really show up. But if Travis is healthy, there is not one game where he has not changed the trajectory of another team's OC or DC. Like, he's making DCs stay up at night, and he's making OCs stay up at night.
That's clutch, bro.
That is clutch, bro.
That's a great well, you know what? That ain't clutch. That means that you are a great wide receiver. That means that you are a threat to the opposing team. If they staying up all night putting a game plan together just for you and you alone.
Yeah.
Come on, Richard Sherman, bro. Okay, I'll put it to you like this. If Jerry Rice was coming into town, this is what I asked Richard Sherman. If Jerry Rice was coming into town in his prime and you in your prime, you finna watch more film than you ever watched in your life.
Yeah. And it's weird because these guys they have not lined up, and they're never gonna line up. So it's different times and different people. So when they're talking, when the OGs talk, you want to listen and you want to respect them. But it's like, when you use these words are what we get stuck on. Like, bland. Like, you think Travis is really bland? Like, his route running is suspect. I'm having a hard time just understanding that and trying to understand the motive. And does it have some kind of like what was the plan? Like you're saying, right? What was why are people are taking it like, they're taking it so seriously? It's because everybody's saying, okay, let me ask you this question. Do you think people be taking it this seriously if everybody weren't saying Travis is the best college football player?
It just depends on the person, really, honestly. Like it depends on the person, but like, okay, I give you this example. Jason Witten that played for the Dallas Cowboys, he was a tight end, right? You with me, Harry?
I'm with you.
Okay. Jason Witten that played with the Cowboys. He not the fastest, but when he was playing, you'll sit back and say, dang, how is he getting so open all the time? Because of his good route running abilities.
So, but is Travis Hunter always open?
No, they're not going to give him that opportunity. Was Deion always open when he was out there in certain packages on the field playing offense?
Wasn't Deion used more as a decoy?
He was used as a decoy, but at times, but he still would catch post routes across the middle or go routes on you. But they always try to have somebody over the top and underneath when they see him out there in different packages. So Travis is not going to always be open. Even with the Hail Mary catch, they assumed that they were going to go to Travis. That's why, like, in some of the well-off stuff, he was talking about it. Him and Shador was like, hey, let me go to this side of the field because I'm going to draw more attention. That gives some of our other wide receivers that are good receivers the opportunity to create one-on-one. And in my opinion, Wester is a great route runner to me. I love the way he run routes.
But he just got to catch the ball now.
That's what I'm saying. He got to catch.
You can run the routes great, but then you don't come down with the ball. It's like, oh gosh, what?
Right, exactly.
But look, Tim, we can use Wester as an example to qualify why we're saying what we're saying about Travis, right? Because Wester has greatness in him. We know that. We know that Wester has greatness in him. But that greatness doesn't always show up. It's like, right. So it's like the ball has to be at a certain, like it has to be thrown a certain way. It's rare. I'm not saying that it hasn't happened yet, right? Even this season, but it's rare for the ball to be thrown perfectly and for Travis Hunter to drop it. Like I've never seen it.
Man,
right?
Travis has great ball-eye coordination.
Mm-hmm.
He has a great eye for locating the ball. He has a great eye for his hands locating the ball. He has great hands for locating the ball wherever it's placed, whether it's behind him. If he's running a drag route and the ball slightly behind him, he'll twist that body around and catch that ball with his hands.
Right,
he wouldn't have never dropped that ball that Will Shepherd dropped.
Right, that's what I'm thinking. So it's like, yeah, I seen like our weapons are great weapons, but the one weapon that we do have that is a weapon is almost like a Swiss Army knife is Travis Hunter. He's the most trusted. When you are in a clutch situation, that's the guy that you want to go to. The other guys, you're throwing up a prayer. You feel me? Like you're hoping that they will do it. But Travis is almost a lock, and that's why I'm like, I mean, I respect Richard Sherman. I ain't gonna disrespect him for any reason, but I just feel like, when you say stuff like that, it does come off more like a clickbait because the dude has flavor. He like Travis Hunter. I think his game has the most flavor in college football because you can throw the ball anywhere. You can pretty much, like he says, when Shador tells him, dude, just catch the ball, that's something special. right? Like he's like, I don't care what you're saying, just catch the ball. Like that's when you know your guy your guy is he's glue fingers. So, anyways, I don't want to spend all day on that. I just feel like that was a misplaced, and I'm glad he apologized. I feel like that was a misplaced energy, and
I am too. I mean, I
yeah,
just feel like he just misspoke in the moment.
yeah,
Like he tried to maybe grab it off the tip of his tongue, but it didn't already surface out
yeah, it's
across the
out there.
wire.
It's out there, and there's nothing you can do about that. But okay, let's get into the meat of the show. The meat of the show today, guys. Oh my God, Tim, and yeah, I got my guys. Common Sense Buff is coming on later on. But here's a question: what is the one question that Colorado has not answered or have not answered for you yet? Put it in the comments if you are in the chat. Chat, I want to know what your answer is. And Tim, since you are here, what is that one question or that one box that Colorado still has not checked for you?
I was thinking on that line of questioning, and I think for me it is more of consistency. I see it going in the direction, but I would just like to see a lot more of it.
I can add a little bit more nuance to that question.
Go ahead.
What is the one thing that is still remaining for them to be a legit football team?
A complete game. A complete being able to dominate all phases of the game.
But do they have to dominate or just compete?
Compete. I'm not gonna use the term dominate because I really don't like to use it.
Yeah. I'm with you.
I even hate when people say that word, like, oh, we need to go in and dominate. Like, man, that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
But I would just say compete, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what do they do in this game with a struggling special teams. Which
are
is
you worried?
a
Are you worried
phase.
about the special teams?
Yes, I am going into this game. I am.
I'm not really worried about the special teams. I feel like they made some mistakes, but it's not. I'm not worried about that. Not as I'm worried about the offensive line, but I'm not worried about special teams because the special team is made up of athletes. Whenever you have athletes, they figure it out. They know what mistakes they made. They'll come next game and they'll be great. So special teams is one of those group of guys that you can literally say, oh my gosh, we have one of the best special teams in one game. Then the next week you're like, oh my gosh, we have one of the worst special teams. I just feel like it can go up and down.
Well, this is my reasoning for saying that.
Okay.
It's the fact that we don't have a legit special teams coach. Right?
Because our Saudi Arabia guy got no.
Yeah.
Was he Jewish? Oh no, he was the Mormon guy. The Mormon guy.
Yeah, the Mormon guy. So, and not only that, our deep kicker, he's out for the season.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? With a torn ACL injury or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he's out. So who? Okay, now taking into consideration, we had a kickoff return run back for 101 in the last game against Baylor. We had a punt return for great field position in the Baylor game. So we was kind of exposed on special teams. Going into Orlando, they got some guys that can can light it up as far as return game goes. If they put them back there. So I feel like I'll take you kicking the ball out of bounds at their 30. But
I'm gonna make a bold statement.
okay.
I think our special teams is gonna score this week, and they're not gonna have any more returns they're not gonna have any return for more than 35 yards.
I'll be looking, but I hope it sounds good.
That's really warm and real fuzzy. But I special teams, man. I look at special teams a little differently. Special teams can have bad days. You can catch somebody off guard, but do I think that they're bad? No, because the individuals are the athletes that we got. The special team is made up of some good players that we got.
I have a little pushback on that, Harry.
All right, go ahead.
Because they make a component of a win. You know what I mean? I can't say, hey, you get a game to have a bad game. That's like telling the offense, hey, you get a game to not really block. You could go half tail for half the game, and then the other half go 100%.
No, hold on. No, you're misinterpreting what I'm saying.
Okay.
You know how the defense is the run defense is top 15 right now in college football?
Correct.
But then when you watch the game, if you're just watching for good and bad and you see those big runs, you're like, dang, we can't stop the run. That's what I'm saying. Like, they have bad moments. But are they terrible? I'm not willing to throw the towel in yet.
No, I'm not throwing in the towel. I'm just looking at two key factors
Okay.
that may hurt them going along in the special teams room. That's the only thing that I'm saying, because I'm looking at like, okay, we're going to play UCF. They got some speed demons over there. Florida boys, they fast. I know they fast.
Our team is made up of Florida boys, though.
Fast. I know that, and I'm just looking at the return game, not giving them the. I guess I'm looking like I don't want to give them an opportunity to run the ball back for 6.
Okay.
I want them to be able to earn it all on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, if you are special teams and somebody scores on you, it's really hard to defend. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
you can't. It's hard for you to defend somebody who, like, come on, guys, y'all let them score 6. All right, the team could have had one less touchdown coming off of a bunch of guys who are in a group, and you just got to tackle the guy running. Like, it's very hard to defend. So I'm not throwing all my marbles on defending the special teams, but I still believe in them. But my one question that I feel like is still lingering is that we don't know Colorado's identity fully yet. And obviously the little nuances that makes up that bigger statement would be, is the offensive line going to show up today or on Saturday? Is the what else? Is the defense not going to let big runs happen? Is the special teams going to let people run the ball all the way to the end zone? So those little questions, I feel like they can be answered, and Colorado can put it all together so we can see one solid game. Like, I can't wait to see the true Colorado football team. Like, that one solid, like, I don't know if we saw that in the Baylor game. They won the game, and it was an epic game, and everybody agrees that was an epic game, and I'm glad that we won. But we still had a lot of mishaps in that game that scored a touchdown running down the daggone on our special teams. So it's like, all right, fine. Y'all made some mistakes. I'm willing to forgive. But who are y'all? like,
right.
Please tell me who the heck you are. Bro, I don't know who the heck you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, You get a girl like, you know what I'm saying, her hair looks all nice and she smells good, and you know what I'm saying, like you're a regular guy, you're not funny or nothing like that. You don't do anything crazy. You just want a decent girl. Bruh, next week she shows up, she got armpit hair, she smells musty. You don't see that same hair no more. You're like, who are you? Like, I have no idea who the heck you are. Your hair keeps changing. I didn't even know you had armpit hair. I didn't know that you were musty. Well, dang, who the heck are you?
Wow. Hey, let me ask you this. You mentioned something in your statement, and that caught my attention. And this is something that I've been thinking about as of late. The defense seems like they're using the key components that they have on defense and utilizing them in good position, putting them in the right position.
Okay.
With the offensive line, I'm not 100% sold. Are we using each and every key component in the right spot? You know what I mean?
You're still thinking that guys are out of position?
I'm not gonna say necessarily out of position, but like I noticed in the Baylor game, Benson was pulled, if I'm not mistaken, and they put somebody else in. But don't hold me to that. But
let's bring on CU fan to help us with that. Maybe he can answer this question. CU fan, what up with you? Thanks for calling. I appreciate you.
Thanks for having me, Harry.
What up, CU?
Hey, Tim.
So, did you hear what we were talking about as far as, do we think the offensive line is cohesive, or are they whole, or are they still porous?
They still need a lot of work. Yes, I think they did pull Benson out. Man,
This is Khalil Benson, right?
Yes.
Okay.
As much as I love his work, like his whole mental, like he wants to push. If you've noticed in the past few games, he has just been getting beaten a lot. And I'm not saying he's not doing good in some areas. I'm saying that when it comes to one-on-ones where it's really needed, he gets beat a lot. And when he was playing guard, the big men would do some techniques, and he would get beat on it. When he was the tackle, he's not fast enough. They're beating him on the rush.
Who is the one offensive lineman that is doing their job, and they're just doing their job? Who do we know? Is there one at all?
No, I haven't seen anything that could say he's holding up his block, because the problems that we're having are the stunt blocks. Last week, the stunt blocks were killing us. We could not block any stunts.
So King P says Houston got pulled, Benson went to tackle, and Mayer to right guard. Now, is this because of injury or because of play? Like, what are we talking about? Are these guys being moved around? Because this is raising questions for me.
Yes.
Does the coaching staff not know what's going on? Why we keep moving guys around? Is it because of necessity, or can somebody articulate that for me, please?
Remember when you had the show where we was talking about the coaching staff, right?
Yeah.
And the unexperience that some of the coaching staff had, right?
Okay.
Lohalt, he never been a Lions coach before. He wasn't a Lions coach, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think he was the Lions coach over at OU.
Wait. So your assessment is that this is inexperience happening, or?
Well, I'm not gonna necessarily say inexperienced because these guys play just because. Well, let me take it back. It could be a factor. That it could be just because they played in the NFL doesn't mean that they know how to coach it.
But no. Let me further this a little bit because there, you know how we do like certain things on committee. I think CU is coaching on committee. I don't think they're just kind of like doing things loose and nefarious. I feel like they're coaching on committee. But what I'm assessing or what I'm sensing is that some of these players show something in practice that allows the coach to say, "Okay, let me try this in a game, and if it doesn't work, then we'll just switch it up."
They
That's
don't
what
have
I'm.
consistency.
You said they lack consistency.
Yes. So when I mean consistency, it's like at the beginning, no one knew what position they were really going to play. Maybe Seton was the only one everybody knew the position they were going to play. Everything else was basically, all right, where we're going to put you. You know, you're good at this, but you lack this, and there was no consistency. The shuffling around of the offensive line has really put a dampener on the whole gameplay, because as much as I think that these coaches, Load Hall, Prime, and whoever else is involved, putting these linemen out of their natural position and getting better at their natural position has really put a hinder on our offensive line. That's my opinion, because I see it when we start moving people around too much. And that really hurts the player, because a player's trying to adjust the blocking scheme based off of, you know, what they're telling them and not really sitting in their natural position.
Let me even though this is very hard to do, but let me defend the coaches for a second. Again, I'll preface this by saying this is very hard to do. All right. But I feel like I trust their eyes, I trust their ears, and I feel like they know what they're doing, but they don't have the one person that they can trust in certain situations, and they're doing their best to shuffle them so that they can win games. I think that's what's going on, as opposed to, oh, they don't know, so they're just kind of trying things. I don't think that. I don't think that they're inept, because what we're describing seems like these guys are inept. And for that, let me bring on Common Sense Buff and see if he can articulate whether he thinks that they're inept or they're trying their best to use what they got at hand to help them win games. See, Common Sense Buff, how you doing today? Thank you for calling in. I appreciate you.
Venía ahora para Friday, bro.
Okay, you starting out with the Liberian. Okay, my man. Let me ask you an Liberian question. Okay, all my Tim and CU fan, this is in Liberian. Try to follow. Okay, it goes kind of fast. My begin. So tell me, they made it crazy, or they don't know what they're doing. They know what they're doing, or they're just like, my man, I am Barrow. My man, let me just play somebody here, and let's try to make sure that we can get the win. What do you think? You can put your answer in English and back in Siri English.
Okay. All right. So, what's up to the panel? What's up, Harry B? What's up to everybody in the chat? Appreciate you. Good to be back. I haven't really been following the show. The last thing I heard was the conversation about Travis Hunter and Richard Sherman. So please bring me up to speed.
Yes.
I'm willing to listen to get caught up, and then I'll give my comments.
Okay, so here's the comment. Here's the very first thing that we're currently talking about. We feel like the shuffling of the players, right, on the offensive line is impeding something, right? Are we blaming the coaches, or are we saying are we thinking that? I think what it is that the coaches see what they see. They know what they got. I believe that they know what they got, and they're having to move or shuffle the players around because the ability and the desires are not really showing what they really need for that position. So they're moving them around to try different things to see what works. It's not so much that they don't know what they're doing, from the coach's standpoint, but they just don't have the talent. And that's why I was like, what do you think? Do you think the talent is there and the coaches don't know what they're doing on that offensive line, or are the coaches compensating for the lack of talent?
Yeah, so I think the talent is better than it was last year. But everybody who follows football and has coached football and has played football always talks about chemistry on the offensive line. When we're on the outside looking in, it's like if you keep shuffling the offensive line, it's gonna make it harder for them to find their chemistry, build trust with one another, and be able to gel as a unit. But I think you can't really say that the coaches are crazy for making changes because they see what these play. Well, one, they know the play that was called. Two, they're watching to see if players understand their assignments. And three, they're also looking to see if players are executing on their assignments when they realize whether or not they understand the assignment or not. So I can't really say the coaches are doing the right thing or the wrong thing. Only the performance on the field can be judged. I think they're making these changes in an effort to find that group of five that are going to play the best together. But I think they're just watching what's happening on the field, making changes, and trying to adjust on the fly. It's the same thing that Robert Livingston, for example, did with his linebacker room. The reason why people are not talking about Robert Livingston's linebacker room and they're talking about Phil Lodeholt's offensive line is because the linebacker room was able to gel quicker than the offensive line has been able to gel. So that's just my observation, high level. I can't really say right now if it's the best thing to do or not, but it's just what they have to do in order to find the right five guys to play.
So can I fire back at that real quick?
Yeah.
But
Also,
does that
try to answer Gerald D's as well. We have tons of talent. Some of our talent is not getting on the field. I don't know if I agree with that, but go ahead.
what I'm saying is by shuffling our offensive line, does that not hinder their development? Because they are not progressing in their natural position. If I came to college as a guard and maybe the coaches see me better as a tackle, fine. But keep me in the position so I can develop. Because in the long run, what's happening is their development is being hindered.
I'm not. I push back on that. I'm not in agreement with you on that. Because coaches know what they're doing and they know what they're seeing, right? I feel like the coaches. Gerald said, "Prove me wrong, Harry." I can't prove you. I wish I could. I really wish I could prove you wrong, man. If I could prove you wrong, I would be on that coaching staff. But I want to push back because I feel like the coaching staff knows what they're doing, and the reason is because those guys have played that position. So I don't think there's anybody in those positions that haven't necessarily played the position. So to coach the position is not that hard because if you played it in college and you played it at the NFL level, that means you also been coached as well. So if that's your scenario, these guys, they know what they're doing. I will give them that. We're not at practice. We don't see some of these things. We're using evaluations that we've gotten off season, preseason. We're not in those situations in the practice to see what they're seeing, their vintage point. We're only seeing what they want us to see on the well-loved videos or any of the prime videos. So how are we so comfortable making those calls to say, you got Tyler Johnson on the sideline, you got this guy not playing? Do you guys think like they're playing some type of favoritism game? I don't want to accept it. Maybe, but I don't want to accept it.
Hey, let me throw this out there real quick, Harry.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use Khalil Benson as example,
Mm-hmm.
but when okay, Khalil is in his last ride, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he transferred in from, was it Indiana
I'm not sure,
or
but go
was
ahead.
it Houston?
Which one? Who?
Khalil Benson.
Khalil Benson. Oh, okay. I don't know for sure. Not off the top.
Uh, well, if I'm not mistaken, um, maybe some of the other guys see buff or see you. Y'all can help me out with this, but one of them at the position that they was playing at their previous school didn't really give up too many sacks, right? So coming here and being taken out of position to play another position, well, taken out of your natural position that you was playing at your previous school, and be put into another position where this coaching staff may feel that you fit best due to what we have on hand. Like that can hurt you. That can hurt you moving forward to the next level if that's your
So
dreams and aspirations.
So yes, you're correct. That is Khalil Belson. He came from, I believe, from Indiana, and yes, his percentage was really good. Is one of the reasons why they went after him. But yes, he hasn't shown that in the past 4 games as what he could really do. He's been put out of his natural element so much that it's hindered his progression. He isn't like if you compare apples to apples to what last year to this year was for him,
Hmm.
his whole like everything about it for what you're looking at right now and why we think our offensive line is not doing so good is completely out the ball. I mean, Khalil Benson was really good last year. You couldn't say that if you look at him this year.
I mean, this one is it's hard to take because I'm thinking like those guys know football. I mean, come on, like we know that they know football. So could there be something else going on where Gerald D said Tyler Johnson has first round NFL draft grades, yet he can't get on the field because he doesn't watch enough film? Nonsense. We need to put our best players on the field. Period. Is that how it goes, or are we trying to build culture? Like you can't blame a guy for saying you don't have no culture, you don't do this and you don't do that. But as soon as the crap hits the fan, the first thing that goes is your character and your criteria. Is that how we should assess this? Because that's the best player. If he doesn't want to do what he wants to do or what you're asking him to do, should we abandon ship or should we abandon the character or the abandon the everything that you're trying to build just to appease that player because he can help us win? What do you guys think on that? Let's go to you, common sense. What do you think? Do you think that's a plausible thing to do, or do you think that's a right thing to do? You can't blame a guy for culture and then say get rid of your culture if we have problem winning, right?
Yeah, so I think uh one, we're outside the locker room, we're fans, and I think everybody is giving their opinion because they'd like to see the team do better. Um, and I think the coaches also understand that the stakes are very high, and at the end of the day, winning matters. But the question now becomes, are the players bought in? Because I could be in my natural position and I could want to play my natural position. But if I'm bought into the fact that the teams with the best records have the most NFL draft picks, I might be more inclined to say to myself, well, If I stay in my natural position and I continue to develop, and that doesn't help the team win, am I actually doing myself a long term disservice? Now, in the case of these guys who it's their last year, this is really their only opportunity to show that they're NFL material, right? I think that's something that Prime preaches. I think that's something that all the coaches are preaching. And I think that's something that the players are buying into, that the culture of I, even though every individual needs to seek their own best interest, is not as important as the culture of we for this season. If these players are begrudgingly being moved around, and as a result, they're checking out, and maybe that's what's impacting their performance, then that's a problem. But if you have a team full of guys, especially on that offensive line, who remain united and are willing to do whatever it takes to have this team win, over time, I think that accrues to their benefit. But I'm willing to hear other people's opinion. One man's lack of development can actually mean another person's increased versatility. I could bring you on my team, and yeah, your natural position is tackle, but I know I have in you a tackle and a guard. I have a version, I'm not saying any of these guys are a Travis Hunter potential, but there's a little bit more flexibility with you on my team. So it's almost like drafting 1.5 players. But that's just my thought. It's really about whether or not these guys are bought in and they're not just being moved around against their will.
So I guess to speak on that just a little bit, I think that's part of what's going on. I think you have to play the availability, right? I think you keep your culture at all costs. You do not compromise your culture and your character. You don't compromise those things for winning, because then if you're going to compromise yourself, then you have to start asking, what else am I going to compromise? So at the end of the day, I think the reason why people are out of position, which is giving me now some insight, is to say that, okay, if this guy is a Komani and he thinks that he's the end all be all, then all right, fine, we're gonna go to the next guy. But in order for us to go to the next guy, we have to move guys around. So if that's the case, then I get it. Then it's not the coach's fault. You can't put it on the coaches and say, oh, the coaches don't know what they're doing, especially when they played in college, they played in the NFL, and now they're coaching, and they've been coached all of those times. So I would give them at least 4 years in college. That's 4 years of being coached. And I would give them at least 5 years in the NFL. So that's another, let me just give them 5 and 5. That's 10 years of being coached and playing the position. So you know what you're doing at that basic level. For that, let me bring on DC to see if he can further articulate what he thinks is going on. Whether you agree with me, don't agree with me, as far as what is going on has to do with the players, not the coaches. DC, welcome to the show, my guy. Thank you for calling in. I appreciate you, my guy.
What's going on, panel? Harry B, chat.
So your microphone is in your throat. Thank you for that. I appreciate you.
How about that? Yeah,
off the mic.
Yo,
all right.
Pause, man.
No, he told somebody else on the panel that they swallowed their microphone. So this one is for him.
That's hilarious.
All
right, so let's dig into it. So here's the thing. Folks have to understand the dynamics of, it's very hard to build culture in a team that has high turnover. It's very hard in any organization. It's very difficult to do that. The other thing is trenches. Like I heard a guy say it normally takes around 2-3 years to really develop a good lineman. And then you also have the thing of them being able to work as a unit, because offensive line is working as a unit, because again, like if you have a pulling guard, all kind of stuff, it's not just, hey, the line is not necessarily a singular type of thing, like let's say a skill positions. Why they say the skill positions are easier to do, hey, it's pretty much run that route, catch that ball, more or less. But the line is operating as a unit. So I would say is that it may be where some players aren't getting it, and which this does fall on coaching, is that you didn't get a full evaluation of that person's skill set, because that does play into to all of it, because this steel line has some growing to do, and maybe if they had that line consistently over 2 or 3 years, they would get better. But if you got people moving out, it's hard to get it to I'll give you a thing like potato salad. Potato salad doesn't taste as good as it does when you first make it versus when you let it sit for a moment and everything get together and it's all good. Then it has flavor. It's not bland. Richard Sherman. So the thing is, that's what I think is going on, is they're trying to find the best scenario that works best for them. I just think, that's got to be difficult, because each team you go up, it exposes another weakness.
So the question in our I like that particular salad thing, because I think mayonnaise kind of like, I think it loses its real texture once you let it sit. But anyway, this is not culinary class. The question that I got for you is this: do you feel like they are having to do what they can to protect the culture that's being built there, right? Which is, you're going to watch tape, and if you don't watch tape, if you don't go to class on time, if you don't do certain things, this is the culture we got here. If you're a Kwamani, then we're not playing you. And we would take the L if we have to take the L to protect the culture. Do you think that's what's going on? And then, so now the guys that you have left who are willing to do the work do not have the same capability as the guy that's not watching tape, and they have to shuffle it around. Do you think that's part of what's going on?
Well, you have to make that decision. Am I going to die? If I'm, we all want to win, but if I'm going to, let's say, unquote, lose, and I'm going to use that as die, am I going to die on the hill with the most prepared or the most person with the most talent? Because truly, it should be to a point where what made Prime great is that he had great talent, but he prepared. I'm of the mindset is that I don't care how well you are, how skilled you are, I want somebody that's prepared, that knows what's going on,
Hence,
and that
Charlie
can
Brown,
understand. And I get it. Some people say, no, I don't want to. But understand is that if I'm now choosing people to put them out there just because they had the talent, then I can have a breeding ground of people who don't prepare for greatness. And at the end of the day, this is supposed to be a team that's prepared for greatness. So if you're not, so it's like this: if you're not studying film and stuff like that, more than likely you're not going to have a high NFL grade, or you're not going to be successful. So that's what I would want to put on my field. Now, I understand sometimes you got to make that last minute call of what's going to be best considering the environment. But I'm of the position, and I think some of the coaches that have, to me, it seems like Prime is, if you ain't preparing, I don't care how good you are, I'm not putting you on the field. And I can support that. I'd rather lose that way than win the other way. Put it like that.
Can I fire back on that?
You can fire back on that, but before you do that, I just wanted to ask X-Men from South Africa. X-Men, you look like that guy in Tusi that stabbed the guy on the train. Is that a photo of you, or is this a photo of somebody else? Because you look like the stabber in Tusi. Anyway, go ahead, see you, fan. X-Men gonna get at me later. Go ahead.
Okay, so I completely agree with you on the perspective of like trying to maintain that culture. It's something that you have to have, but we have seen that culture kind of fade away. Okay, perfect examples. What happened to Woods? How come we're not seeing Woods as much? Woods was the starter, and they said he's not. He's the guy that he's been hanging around. He's been doing everything he can. Offadel, what happened to him? He was the starter. He was the guy. He was the one that was doing everything to do what is necessary to be a starter. Okay, talent beat him. All right. So if that culture is being developed, but talent is still beating that culture, Why are we not starting the best players out there to be able to do what is necessary to win games? I mean, think about it like this.
You
You
can't
guys
have it
ever
both
seen-
ways though. Now you gotta be very careful with that. Like
You're
you gotta
right.
be very
You're right.
careful to compromise your culture or your integrity and your character for W's.
You're right. But look what we did. We had to get sit Offerdale down. We sat down Woods for better talent because they were doing what was on the film. They were looking at it and they're like, man, these guys are doing so much better. Okay, have you guys ever seen what was that movie called? What was that movie? Remember the Titans. Remember the white coach, defensive coach? You know, a little girl was like, hey, now's not the time for that pride thing, you know? And he was like, all right, well, let me go get that a better talent because the white kid was getting beat. Well, that's the time that's the perfect example of what's going on.
But is it? That's a great example you just made. I like that. But is the scenario the same? I don't know that the scenario. I don't know that the scenario is the same.
I'll give you my theory real quick. I'll give you my theory.
One second, because okay, it may go a little deeper than just watching film, right? Even though Prime said in the interviews on his press conference that these guys are not watching tape, so it's like, okay, how far are you willing to lay off your character or your developmental characteristics to allow a player to play because of that? So is that I do see where you're going with that, but I think that's a very slippery slope. DC, you go, and then I want to hear CU fan rebuttal or his
I think what you have is because you got transfer player. Let's take Dallin Hayden. I think when they got in the running backs in Augusta, that they didn't really know the playbook. They were getting there. They were trying to figure things out, but Charlie knew. So he had more knowledge, but maybe not the physical abilities. As they continued to practice and study and put in the work, then I think they caught up to Charlie, and then their talent eventually exceeded. So that's what I think has happened. That's why you're starting to see more people like the Michael Wells and stuff on there. Is that at first they didn't really understand what was going on in the playbook, or at least they were thinking too much versus having the playbook basically ingrained in their muscle memory where they can do it. That's what I think is going on. I just think maybe for some reason at the line it isn't, and I do agree moving linemen around because you now are saying, okay, on this play, was that lineman paying enough attention to, if you move them to the position, they know what to do on each play. You might have a pulling guard, all that good stuff. So that's just my theory. I think they got better talent, but it took them a moment to get up to speed where they understood the playbook.
All right, so X-Men says the talent is studying too. So it's like two teams, right? Two coaches that are Christians or that believe in God, and then they're praying. Who wins? Who does God favor in this situation? If you get the talent starting to watch film, and you get the guy that's not so talented, that's more consistent with watching film, then who plays? You play the talent. But the situation that's going on, I don't know that the talent is watching film, as much film as the more consistent guy. So CU fan, if you can go ahead and give your pushback or your comment.
Okay, so we know that Prime is big on watching film. He's said it many times that if you ain't watching film, he ain't gonna play you. Okay. Right. So what if they didn't watch all the film? Let's say 80% of the film that they were required to watch, or how many hours they needed to watch, right? Mm-hmm. So am I really going to sacrifice this talent right here that's so much better, and then put in someone that's not so talented, but he watched all the film? Am I really going to sacrifice that because that person only watched 10 hours of film versus this guy that watched 12 hours of film? Is that what's going on? I don't know if that's going on, but if I'm doing that, that scenario of what I said about Remember the Titans is happening right there. Why? Yeah. The pride situation. Pride is starting to interfere with putting the right people at the right time in games.
And it's interesting that you're once again, I like to say, that's one of the greatest, examples I've heard on the show, me personally. I think that's a great example. But I would like to take it a little further and just examine that. Is that what's happening here? And then I would like to ask you the question. Let me bring on Panda. I'm going to start him off with this question. Panda, what are you willing to relax? Panda, welcome to the show, my guy. How you doing today? Thank you for calling in. I appreciate you.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
What's up, man? What are you willing to let go if you have a set of standards that you have implemented and you have kids and you're trying to train them to walk? If you train up a child in the way that they should go, and when they go, they will not depart. If you are training kids, what are you willing to let go? Or what do you think Prime should be relaxed on?
That's hard to say, man, because as you watch the season progress, I see that you're always using Charlie as a template, right?
Okay.
One of the things that Charlie did well for me only, Charlie did an excellent job of blocking to give Shador an extra half a second. If we
I
go
don't
back
know
and
about
look,
excellent.
no, but if we go back and look at the
I'll
first
give
game,
you a few blocks, but I ain't about to come and say excellent.
well,
Charlie got pushed back on one play so hard, he bounced off the guy like a rubber band. I said, good Lord.
but let's think about it, right?
Okay.
Let's think about it. Charlie
All right.
body size,
I'll give you half. I'm not giving you all.
Charlie body size doesn't allow him to stick in the gap like that. What
Okay.
Prime liked was Charlie's heart and the willingness to run up in there and do the best he can. What a coach likes is when a player is willing to do his best that they can when they are plugged in. What we were seeing from last year to this year were issues where people was giving up on the play. So that's not a talent thing. That's a heart thing. People was missing their assignments. That's a study thing. So there's
It sounds like you're making CU fans' point though, because if we're coming sitting here talking about a heart thing, now that comes into that's kind of slipping into that slippery slope of your pride more so than anything else. Because it seems like these kids, they're doing what you're requiring them, but you're trying to say heart over this and X, Y, and Z.
No, well, we have to look at the complete game. I think we are playing situational football when we on the field, but when we critiquing, we have to look about the game in the full context, right? So when it comes to the complete game, when we look at it, when we had Hayes coming out the back, he didn't block anything. The only thing we could critique as far as play calling, the runs are option runs. They are not design runs where we saw one time where Jordan Seaton took off and the running back run behind Seaton. So we had to look at how the plays are developed. We have a problem with the O-line, right? Having the problem with the O-line means that we have to adjust how we come out of shotgun. You win football games by when the most talented players get the ball, right? That's just period. We all could agree on that, right?
Okay.
When it comes to Shador, we win through the offense, through a throwing offense. Let's stop overthinking this run thing. To be a well-balanced football team, we have to run the ball. However, we have to be honest though. We win when the ball goes from Shador to Travis to Jimmy Horn, and we have a fluctuation of Weston. So we have to be honest how efficient CU plays. We can't reinvent the wheel if they are showing that they can't do it. Now, to the thing of what could Prime sacrifice, that is hard to say because when you think about it, if you're not watching film, you don't know the playbook, you are a liability on the field.
You are.
If you're not showing it in practice, you are a liability on the field. We know this because Jimmy Horn, as much as we love him, he runs the wrong route.
Does he really?
Go and look at Shador's thing where he interviewed him. He said, man, we can tell you the route and you forget it right away. And Jim like, yeah, man, I be forgetting.
And you know what? There was another situation where I can, like your example, Komani, like there was an infamous play where Komani, he comes in the game and he's supposed to take somebody. He totally took the wrong person. So yeah, I mean, I totally get it. But again, hopefully, that's not what's going on here, and these guys know how to play football. Let's bring on Phil So Real. Phil So Real, how you doing today, my guy? How you doing, man? Thanks for calling. I appreciate you.
Hey, listen, I know everybody want to call me a hater, but think about this.
Phil,
listen.
You coming in hot, my guy.
No, listen to me now. Listen, glory be to God, my power just came back on. So,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? Instead of making sure my wife good, instead of making sure my son good, I'm coming on here talking about the #1 football team in college football. I'm coming on here talking about the most exciting college football team in football. So don't nobody say that I'm hating.
You coming in hot. I like it.
I'm sacrificing a lot to be on here, man. I love y'all boys, man. Let's talk some ball, man. Let's go.
Hey, man, we love you too. But listen, I just need you to just go back on the first couple of things you said. Just repeat those. You said something about the #1 something. My brain is a little fuzzy.
The #1 football team in college football. The most exciting football team in college football. The most riveting football team in college football. The most talked about. The most hated. The most loved. They are the most. Whatever you want to put on the end of it, they are the most. It's prime.
Just get a whole team to Heisman. Get a whole team to Heisman. Right field. Whole team.
Travis and Shador gonna tie for it at least.
Hey, yo, I was about to say somebody go do a welfare check on DC. Make sure he's okay over there.
His head about to explode. He's like, I know this Negro didn't come in here talking like that.
I know. I was about to
say. When the planes came down in the hurricane and popped him upside the head. Let's go.
Your power went off and you got right. That's what's up. So you coming in hot. That's good. All right, so the question we're gonna get off this topic real quick, real soon. But obviously, the question that I have, and on the panel, Colorado, there's still a few questions that people have about Colorado. My biggest thing is, who is Colorado? I feel like Colorado has not told us who they are. But right now, we're talking about the specific issue that we're having on that offensive line. And right now, Colorado is plagued with guys trying to redshirt because they're not either fitting in with the culture or something's happening. But what are your thoughts on what you think is going on as far as guys not watching film and then the coaching staff having to make adjustments, and it's making the coaching staff look bad because some of us are saying, yo, you got a guy over there that's a 94 PFF and you're playing an 83. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, when it comes down to it, you really do need to look at the guys that are performing the best at practice, because that shows you who are the most consistent and the most game ready. But there's also an element of football in any sport that you have to look at and say, well, wait a minute, this guy doesn't practice well, but when we put him on the field, he shows up and shows out. So as a coach, it's your job to now coach that player up to be able to show you what you're looking for in practice, to have even more confidence in them when it comes game time. But I think as a coach, specifically as Deion Sanders, I think right now you got to put the players on the field that are going to give you the best opportunity to win. And if that player doesn't always show out at practice, but they show out during the game, then you may want to give that person a little bit more run.
So then that means that you're adjusting your culture, your cultural standards. And Coach Prime has always said the standards. So once you start making, excuses or adjustments for those players can smell it. Like, okay, my kids, if I keep saying, hey, man, if you don't do your chores, you don't get your allowance, or you don't do your chores, this ain't going to happen. You're not going to be able to do X, Y, and Z. But then there's that one kid that I'm like, you know what? Go ahead, you're fine. What message am I sending to the rest of the players?
No,
And how does that affect the culture of the team?
No, I understand your point, and that's a very valid point. Like, if you want to, as a coach, try to have integrity and say, "Hey, these are my expectations. These are my demands. This is what I'm not moving on." I respect it if you decide not to, but I still think there are ways that you can get the best players for your team on the field, and then maybe at practice give them some one-on-one sessions with their position coach or the coordinator for whatever side of the ball they're on. Like, there are ways, in my opinion, that I think you can kind of work around it. But I respect your point, and I actually kind of agree with your point too, as far as like
what
not trying to
percentage of
get
it
swayed.
that point do you agree? What? Give me a percentage.
No, actually, I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, when you said it, I was like, dang, like that's really how I feel. Like, the standard is the standard, and I don't want to move off of it. So your pushback on me is how I normally feel about things. So I'm with you like 98%.
Because we criticize Prime. We will criticize Prime quickly and be like, yo, it's a mess in the locker room. The locker room is breaking up and things like that. And then we want Coach Prime to be Coach Prime and do what he does because he understands preparation. He understands readiness, game readiness. He understands that these are young men. And you gotta give them something to hold on to when football is over. And he's teaching them very, very strong life lessons. Like, hey man, you don't always get what you want because you're the best. Because you're gonna meet somebody else who is better than you, and you gotta make sure that when you meet that person that you're prepared. And the way that you do that is to always be ready. So if I'm teaching you a lesson where I'm gonna enable you, like Cormani was enabled, right? And now look at where he's at. If I enable you, then I'm not doing you any favors. Because
tell
I
that to
win.
Prime when he was young.
Say that again.
Tell that to Prime when he was young.
But Harry, check this out.
But Prime, go ahead.
Something I've seen, like I'll give you this, and Peter, the investor, said something in the comments, and it was, which is worse, low expectations versus underachievement. And I do think it's low expectations because the thing I would tell you, I noticed what's the difference between an Asian child and a black child? It's expectations. And the bottom line is, it is.
Wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute.
Yo, man, chill out, bro. Chill out.
Wait, what?
You ain't got like what? Listen. I didn't come over here to win a popularity contest. I came over here to say that's a perception.
But that's ignorance, bro. That's straight.
No, it ain't, bro. Look, come on now. Let's keep it cool. You might not like it, but let me correct it.
Higher expectations.
Let me say it. The point I'm saying is that how people operate.
Explain your line.
Go ahead, bro. I'll let you speak, and then I'll finish.
No, I said explain the point you just narrated.
The point I'm saying is that sometimes when people are teaching, because of having dealt with teachers, they will come in and not realize they have a bias and a bad expectation. But when the reality is, when you set the expectation and the standard, it is what it is. That's what I'm saying. It's not that these kids are not capable. They're more than capable. And the reason why I say that, because I went to one of the worst schools and taught critical thinking with, on paper, the worst school. And those kids were just, it wasn't that they were bad. It's just they weren't inspired. Let's bring it to here. Let
me add a little something. When we say, did you say black or did you say African American? Because I'm black, and Africans' expectations are way different from a lot of, like, we have high expectations, and we are one of the highest achievers in many things. So when you say black, you got to really identify it, because black Jamaicans are different, African Americans are different.
Right. Well, not to derail it, because I know some people heard that and might feel a certain kind of way, but that's not how it was intended.
Open up a can, boy. I'm ready to go. Like, what are you doing?
I know, but again, that's kind of why we have to sit back and that's why we have to sit back and get the context and then go. So, for example, it was a school that's called Woodlawn. Woodlawn is considered one of those. So you're thinking these are it's a underserved area. I sit on the board for an underserved communities for financial prosperity. And so here's the thing of that, again, I'm going to bring this back to football, is that what you find when you're dealing is that you set an expectations and then teach people to meet it. That's what Prime is doing. That's one of the greatest things I like about him. So I get what it's saying, and guess what? But the thing I like about Prime is that he's setting expectations because he knows they can meet it, and he'd rather die and y'all talk crap about him than to sit back and adjust that. I respect that big
I'm,
time.
yes, I'm with that. I'm actually with that, and I like it. And so yeah, that's what I think is going on. I'd rather Prime stick to his guns, do what he does, and win his way, than for him to compromise his integrity and his culture for wins. You know, I don't know what conversations they're having about the hot seat, whether his job is in question if he doesn't win this year again. I don't
They're
know,
not
but
getting rid of him.
I think the school probably is comfortable with Prime, and they're probably committed to him building this culture and building it the right way. So it's a little.
Let me ask you this question, Harry.
Yeah.
How long does it take to change habits? There's this thing that we think that we could change habits in 30 days. Psychologists say it takes a year and 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
So realistically, this is only year 2. What happened, and I want us to remember, Prime did not go there with a recruiting class. He went there and brought people in to the portal at springtime. This is his first recruiting class. So we had to put things in context, right? Then we double-minded. We are really double-minded. We want performance, and then we are critiquing the standard. And then we are saying standards is necessary for success in football. Are we looking at a Nick Saban and how he carried himself as a coach? Because if that's the standard and an elite coach, we must be honest, Nick Saban wouldn't do it either.
Well, you know what? It's a good thing that you mentioned Nick Saban because Nick Saban came into Alabama the first year. He didn't do so well, lost the University of Louisiana Monroe. The second year, he went undefeated and he lost the SEC championship. The third year, he won the national championship. But the one thing is that Prime, and I think I've heard him say is that Nick Saban is not recruiting you unless you study film. And if you don't study film, you are not just going to not get on the field. He's gonna get you out of there because there's another 5-star waiting to take his place. I like the fact that Prime sets that standard because if you're not doing what
if you have
right,
Yeah,
right, well, that's the thing
okay.
about it. But the thing being is that the problem is every time you go in, like we say, well, he had to start over. Okay, you start over, but he started over multiple times because every time you have a portal open, and he's had 3 portal opportunities. If you're getting a whole bunch of people leave and then come in, then you're starting from square one. And I will tell you this. This is kind of like in basic training. You can change habits within 2 months, but you have to have total submersion into that process. Other than that, Panda is 1000% right. It will generally take you about a year to change somebody.
That's true.
This is
And
why
before y'all go too far into the next thing, I want somebody to please answer love and liberty. What is acceptable terminology for white people to use? Love and liberty is white. Black, African American, both, neither.
I say black because I don't know your nationality.
I say African because I'm
I
not.
don't know
black.
what you are,
I'm
right? But I don't know what you are. I don't know what you are. But your background, I want to know until I get there. I mean, unfortunately, think about this: if you run from the police, they're not going to say, "Oh, let's see, we got a librarian." The librarian, no, he's got to be from
He got a Liberian
Congo.
accent.
No, he's not going to be. They're not going to do that. They're going to, and they're not going to take the time to do African American. But I get what you mean. I get exactly what you mean.
So did we just help a white guy, or did we just ruin him altogether? Because we didn't help him at all.
I say black.
He's trying to be respectful and say, well, how do I help my friends and myself? Are we all agreeing to black?
I think
See you fan. Let me go down the panel. See you fan. What is your thought? What's your answer?
I come from the hood. I use black.
Okay, DC, you said black.
Yes, or chocolate milk, one or the other.
Panda, you're from the island, so we can't use you. Forget
I'm
about
joking.
you. Panda, what is your Panda? You're Caribbean. We can't use you, but go ahead, Panda. What is your thought?
You're kind of right though, because
I know y'all different.
we just weird. But I think DC had a great point. Contextually, we live in the culture. So in the culture, we experience things based on the notation of black.
Okay.
When it goes deeper, then there's the discovery of the nationality aspect of it. But realistically, culturally, we regardless of how we feel about ourselves,
It's just black.
Just black.
Okay. All right, Phil. What are your thoughts? I wanna hear Phil on this one. Let me hear what he got to say.
I mean, honestly,
HBCU in his blood.
No, I feel the same way. I think black, just for the surface level. But also, I feel like, I mean, if you know my name, just call me by my name. You don't have to describe me as what my race is. Just describe me as the person that I am. Not to get all cheesy with the whole content of my character, but like speak about me based off of who I am, not how much melanin I got, and we good.
So are you black? Oh wait, what did you say?
No, I'm black. But what I'm saying is, like,
so you would say black?
You don't have to. You don't have to
You
use
look
that.
brown skin, bro.
I mean,
I want to know what Phil says. We're trying to help my white friend here. What are you? What can he call you? So he referred to you terminology. Should he say black, African American, both, or neither?
So like my white friends would refer to me as their black friend.
Okay.
And I have a lot of inappropriate jokes that I have with them, and we go back and forth about it. But I'm the black friend. I'm the token black guy. So yeah, that's what I am. I'm cool with it.
So y'all are saying black. I'm obviously saying African. Don't call me black. Call me. I'm African because I'm not just black. I've lived in the African American community for so long, but I prefer African because I'm trying to liberate Africa. So that's the only reason why I prefer African. But other than that, I would say black.
The basement said he's.
But the context.
American. We got a new one, beige American. The basement said
you call me beige, yeah.
Beige American.
So yeah, it basically comes down to the context of the nature of the word black. Like if you're the location, the culture, the perspective of when you see a black man, if you're hearing a person speak, that person is not just black. That person is from a different nationality. But if you hear a person speak intelligently, or a black man speak intelligently, you would think that that's a black African American. It all depends on context.
What you mean by somebody speaking?
Hold on. Let me. If you hear me say, my Piki, how you doing, my man? Does that sound intelligent, or does that just sound like an accent?
That's an accent.
Okay. No, that means you ain't from around here. That means you ain't from around here, Harry.
All right, but I'm still black.
Real.
But I'm still black. So you're
black, but you're black. I don't know. Let's just say Lydian.
Okay, and then, but if I say, "Hey, yo, son, what's happening? What we're doing tonight? What you finna do?" I'm still black, but you're hearing a different accent.
Yeah, that. I mean, I can't say it on here, but we call that differently. That's a black something else.
You the GGA.
but he's actually wrong though, because in English there is dialect. In English there is football. So let's.
I'm more than welcome to talk about football.
But can I ask this one last question though? But Panda, how can you be from the islands but you call Panda? I've been wanting to know.
Hey, DC. I'm gonna say pause, but your mic is in your throat, my guy. Like back up off your mic, my dude. My goodness. Anyway,
All right,
ahead.
back to football.
Yeah, let's get back to football.
Let
Hey,
me
Love and
say- let me
Liberty.
say this
You know
one
I love
last-
you, my guy. Love and Liberty. You
one last point, Harry.
Hold on. People have been historically and systematically oppressed and explained and exploited by Caucasian Americans. We have to know how to fill in that blank to discuss it respectfully. I really respect the fact that you brought that up. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to express that. I do that on the other channel. I'm going to say hello so you'll know what the channel I'm talking about. I have these conversations on that other channel, or at least I'm going to be having those conversations on the Billionaires Mindset. But yeah, I really appreciate you for bringing that up and not being afraid to have those conversations. Thank you, my guy. You see what I'm saying? You see what just happened? A white guy brought that up. Okay. Anyway,
let me leave on this point, Harry. Being from the Caribbean, we also have Indians that are full Indians that are mixed, and then we have Indians that is black like you, Harry.
Why are you picking on me?
No, meaning that I think people have.
What happened to Phil's black?
No,
hey,
like
hey, Panda, can I second that for you? Because my wife is Jamaican, and so I went back home with her one time, and I went to a gas station, and I saw this beautiful Indian chick, like just straight up Indian. You know what I'm saying? Red dye.
And your wife smacked? How hard did your wife smack you?
She ain't crazy. I'm married. I'm not blind, but she went with me. But
that's something
you know
an African American would say, not something an African would say.
I mean, it's the truth. It is what it is. I'm the king of this castle, so we're just gonna leave it there. But I saw her. But then my mother-in-law's father, so my grandfather-in-law, who I've never met, he is jet black, but he's also Indian. But you look at him and you think he was just a regular black dude because of his, skin tone. So like, there's a lot of different. It's a melting pot in the Caribbean. I can say that for sure.
Right.
Hey, Tim wants back in. Tim, please let us come back to football. Don't talk this black stuff, okay?
Yeah, come on, Tim.
Do not get involved, Tim. Okay, we're leaving this black thing alone.
What's up, man? My bad.
We're leaving this black thing alone. If you got a comment on that, that's fine. But I want to run away from this.
I'm good with that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Hey, somebody said I think the basement says what is the link on your screen? If you want to join the conversation, guys, it is jointlplive@gmail.com. The email again is jointlplive@gmail.com.
It's on the screen.
It's right
Harry,
there.
I got a question.
Yeah, and I'll send you a link, and then you come on. Go ahead, Phil.
So when I came on, you mentioned something about like people being worried about red shirts and stuff. Like, has anybody heard anything about guys on Colorado that's trying to red shirt? Because I heard some people rumbling that Trevor Woods was trying to red shirt, and that there were like a couple of guys that didn't travel with the team. But is there a specific reason why you brought up the red shirt thing? Is that something you're hearing?
So Prime did mention that they were going to redshirt some people.
So Coach Prime said himself that he's having issues with guys who wants a red shirt, and he wanted. I guess what he said was that he wanted to actually talk to the coach. I think that they're playing either this week or somebody that like how they're dealing with guys wanting to red shirt, because there's a lot of players that want a red shirt. So,
well, I mean, I can understand that. I mean, if you honestly aren't getting any real playing time, then why would you want to waste a year? If you're only going to play in 5 games, which is 1 game over the max, why would you waste a red shirt year? If I'm only going to play 5 games, let me just play 4 games. Red shirt me unless like it's a dire situation where I'm going to have to come in. Don't waste my year like that. I side with the players on this.
So I've been listening to a lot of people speak on this. And honestly, to me, this comes down to the player itself. I know there's a lot of hateful people saying the team. Why would you do that to the team? But this is a lot of it is like the whole business decision, and also for the player himself. What is the best thing for the player? And I'm very disappointed with a lot of the people that continue to say that or talking really bad about the player. Specifically, I'll give you an example. You guys have probably already seen what's going on with, University of Las Vegas, with that quarterback that, started 3 games and didn't get what he was getting and so forth. To
Sluka?
me,
You talking about Sluka?
yes, Sluka, yes.
I don't blame him in his context, though.
That is a business decision, and I do not blame him 100% because the schools have been taking advantage of these players for a very long time, and now that these players have the power in their hands, now they're blaming them they're being selfish, or whatever else bad they're talking about them. No, I support the players. I support their business decision, and I hope they succeed in what they're doing.
Hey, can I say something to that real quick?
Yeah, go ahead, Tim. You just came back, so go ahead.
I understand that universities have been making millions of dollars off these players' names for years, right? But my somewhat, I agree with everything that you just stated, but I also look at it in a text of, okay, are they making a great decision for themselves? Like the kid from UNLV, for example. These universities are going to make money regardless. Certain ones are going to make money regardless. So am I really doing myself a service by holding out? Or how is that going to look, saying if I don't get something to, like, say for instance, you want to go to the next level, to the pros, how is that going to look to a GM saying, dang, he'll just hold out because of money?
But do you understand how the percentage of people actually making it to the NFL? He may not make it. His style of quarterback play, there's not much room for that in the NFL. It was a very low percentage.
CU, let me help you out. Let me help CU out. What CU is saying, I'm not 10 toes down with it. Let me help you, Tim, look at it this way. He is 26, if I'm not mistaken.
27, I think somebody said.
Yeah, so his age, he's not going pro, right? This was his last chance to probably get a down payment in a house or something like that. So if you promise him $100,000, the staff could have each cut off 25 out of their salary and did it.
No. But let's correct that. Let's clean that up because I just had a live on that. I talked about that. I think it was the day before yesterday or whatever. That Carl Reed Jr. said that he got sources says that all of the financial obligations have been met. However, when they beat those couple of Kansas and they beat a couple of those teams,
so he
wanted more money.
Right, he wanted more money. So this is not a case of he wasn't paid his initial payment. He wants more money because his valuation has changed since
the price of the brick went up.
Right,
the price of the brick went up.
So with that being said, like, he's doing a disservice to himself, I feel. Because if the way that he's been playing and how he got UNLV so relevant right now, you getting looked at tremendously.
But Tim, he's 26.
But he can't go back. He ain't got another year though.
I know that he doesn't have another year, but what I'm saying is,
looks for what? He's 26.
No, but he said
okay, Panda, let me help you out.
Oh my God!
Let me help you out, Panda. He's getting looked at by NFL scouts, is what I'm saying, because he didn't make UNLV so relevant right now. Yes, I understand his age. Yes, I understand that he wants to get paid more money after a few games, after he didn't get his initial, this university had met his initial obligation. But now he want to quit on them in the middle of the season because he feel like his value has went up.
Right, and that's what I was talking about on the last live. Like, where are we going?
Are you sure about that, or is this one of the sources say?
Carl Reed Jr. from 247 Sports, he put out there. He says that yes, indeed, all of the obligations, the financial obligations, were met, but because his valuation has gone up after beating Kansas and I forget the other team that he says his valuation went up.
I mean,
So now
he
got an hold on, let me finish it. He got an agent. His family got together and they got an agent, right? And they decided that he's going to redshirt because they want more money. That is what Carl Reed Jr. said.
If you look at it, it's the same thing with all these NFL players when they do holdouts. It's the same thing.
The game has changed.
They don't hold out in the middle of the season.
But they
No,
don't
they
play
don't
in
do
the
that.
middle of the season. If you don't pay me, I'm not playing. That's the whole
They
perspective
have
of the
been
NFL.
holdouts in the middle of the season.
All right, so
You don't start the season and then hold out. That
all
doesn't.
right, Phil, you got 30
happen.
seconds. Hold up. We're all talking out of turn. Phil, you got 30 seconds. Go.
No, so in the NFL, once the season starts, you're not going to hold out because your contract would have been signed before the season started. If the contract isn't signed and you want to hold out, you're just going to sit on your hands until they make you move, or you're going to go ahead and sign that contract, whatever you come to an agreement on. As far as this situation, I feel like this young man could have made even more value for himself because UNLV is in a situation where they could be that group of 5 team to get that automatic bid. They'll get their head beat in by the number 5 team, which will probably be the SEC runner-up. But you give yourself more value and you give yourself more notoriety by bringing a UNLV team that could be undefeated and making them the number 5 seed. Excuse me, the number 12 seed in the college football playoff.
All right, Panda, you got 30 seconds.
I just uncertain on the conclusion of that because I heard he didn't get all the bread. He got $3,000 payments that was occurring every month and then it stopped. So I'm not sure if that is the conclusion of that. However, the only differential I have is he was not the only one, from my understanding, that was leaving. It was also the running back and 2 other valuable players that had issues. So there's an issue with the program and honoring their obligations, right? As far as CU goes, I do believe in his situation, he is a plug and play last year quarterback, and somebody's going to take him. The evaluation where people was talking about, he beat 2 big teams. And I think it's a gamble worth taking.
So let me go ahead and update you guys on this right here. Here it goes. All financial commitments for UNLV quarterback Matthew Sluka were completely met. This is from Carl Reed Jr. All right, let me put it up here. But after wins against KU and Houston, Sluka's family hired an agent, and they collectively feel that his market value has increased. All right, per sources. So that's why they're deciding that he should sit out for the season so that he can get that money.
And
so I'll say this.
In that case,
so I'll say.
Can I get 30 seconds?
Go ahead.
Oh yes. Go ahead.
Okay. So everybody keeps looking at the perspective of what he did. Yes, he might have gotten a more market value of it. But this, again, we're only thinking about the team. We're not thinking about the player. We're thinking, he did some bad thing against the player, or the team. The player is looking at himself and reevaluating himself and saying, I am going to make a business decision because I don't know if I'm going to make it to the NFL.
Okay.
I may have a little bit of money when I come out, and as someone said on the panel, I might have a chance to put a down payment on my house. And you know what? That makes it a lot easier to come out after college. So I'm making a business decision, and because I may not make it to the NFL because most of the elites go to the NFL. And if you look at the quarterback situations out here in the NFL, I don't see anything close to this quarterback. I forgot his name, Slovic or something like that.
Matthew Sluka.
I don't see a quarterback like him out in the NFL. And more chances are going to take other people are going to be looking at. No, I don't like him in our system because it's all about a system.
Let's get hold up before you go. I think DC was next. Let's get DC's 30 seconds.
Yeah, let me get the if he agreed to it, and then decided to, according to what Carl Reed said, then he played himself to a certain degree. I understand trying to renegotiate, but trying to bend sometimes. I mean, it's in Vegas, they'll call you bluff. If he didn't get what he was to school, is wrong. As far as CU, let me get into this real quick. This is one of the things y'all heard me say when Colorado was up on CSU. You, instead of throwing a ball, that's when you get your players in. Because if these folks are not seeing the field, they're going to leave. It's one thing to redshirt, but you're going to lose them. That means all that you invested in them, you're going to lose them. So if you notice some of the school, that's why you got to get up early on some of these games. And that's kind of the danger of playing teams tight. You don't get to get your backups in, and they're going to go places to play. So I would definitely say next game, CU gets up massively, get as many people as you can so you can retain and build the culture.
All right, go ahead, Tim.
Okay, this is what I was gonna say. The pushback that I had, I stated it earlier. UNLV, they have other programs in their program. They got baseball, they got volleyball, they got basketball, they got track. It may not be able to pull in the type of money that football does, but it's bringing in revenue. This one player is not bigger than the university. Number one. Number two, if they have a backup quarterback that's still able to come in and keep them on a roll,
then he played
on
himself.
a winning streak,
then he played himself.
Then he played himself tremendously because people are still going to buy tickets to see UNLV. UNLV is not known for football like that. And he made them relevant again in 2024 is what I'm saying. So he's done himself. He took the gun and shot himself in the foot. With pretty much what I'm saying. Like,
I see. Oh, go ahead.
It is crazy to me that these kids are, even if he's 26 or 46, playing college football, he would have had a look in the NFL. He would have possibly had a look. Now it's almost like taking lighter fluid and pouring on your money and setting it on fire.
Tim,
hold on. Let me get my 30 seconds. So okay, I agree from the from CU fans' perspective. I've been an advocate of the pay the students. But again, like I said on the last live, we gotta understand that when we're talking business now, business decisions are being made, which is understandable. You got to make the decision for yourself, but we got to understand also how to deal with contract agreements and how do you deal with contracts. When you're in your middle of your contract, are you going to start, are you going to say, okay, I'm not going to fulfill my contract, especially if this is the situation? Then if that's the case, then college football has to decide how we're going to treat this, because then this is going to happen more often. College football is going to get into a weird spot where money and decisions are going to have to be defined. I feel like there's no definition right now, and that's where college football is struggling. If college football continues to struggle this way, that the weird people, when I say weird people are going to step in and try to correct. When that happens, who loses? Y'all tell me. I don't know. Who loses, the children or the established organizations?
I'll tell you. Let me jump in there real quick. I'm gonna tell you because right then you say he got an agent. I'm gonna tell you who's gonna lose is the schools and the players. You're gonna make the agents wind up. Now you're adding in another layer, which means that on one end you think you're getting ahead, but that's another person you gotta cut your cake with. So you gotta understand is that sometimes if you get a bad agent, then that could work against you. You have to have people that know how to negotiate. This one right here was, I don't know the dynamics behind it, but I really, because understand this, folks, is that what's going to wind up happening is that the schools are going to, or the NILs is going to start going, okay, then you have to give me 2 years. They're going to actually have contracts, but then now we're getting out of the whole thing of college football, and we're getting into something else. We're,
It's
we're past
professional.
that
He's
now
becoming
anyway.
a
Hey,
professional
can I
league.
throw this in there
Exactly.
real
30
quick,
seconds.
Harry?
Yes.
Before you
Hey,
go, Panda, let me be fair. Panda wanted
okay.
to go,
I'm
so
sorry,
let me
Panda.
get him in here.
2 points. I think it
Make
was
those
either
quick points.
that was either CU or DC was talking about rotating players, or else they're gonna leave. That's what I was saying. If we get players and develop them, there is no guarantee that they will stay. So you could develop a player to leave. He talked about in certain players when CU get up too high, we were up 28-0 and lost. They were rotating players in then. Don't forget that game. We talked about rotating players in. They rotated players in on special team and they run the ball back. So your analogy have proven results that it doesn't work. Secondly, I don't want to steal the person comment. I'm trying to look back for their name. King P says players already sit out of bowls. So people sit out. Let's be honest, right? People sit out to evaluate themselves trying to go pro. So sitting out is nothing new to the college experience, especially if you're trying to protect your draft stock. We saw a game where we love Travis. Travis could have made a tackle, and Travis made a business decision. We're keeping it real. Travis made a
Okay.
business decision not to make that tackle. And we say, you know what? Travis is one of the greatest players in college football. We overlooked it. He could have stopped one of the touchdowns. Let's be fair about that, right?
Stop.
Just one.
Hey,
You
Just
think
one
he
quick
said stop?
pushback. Just one.
hey,
Just one quick pushback. Just one quick one. You went up 28. You didn't lose because you had other player in there. You lost because you kept trying to throw the ball and you won the time of possession. So that's why you wound up losing that game. But
DC.
I didn't say put them in the third quarter. You put them in. You put them in late third quarter, early fourth quarter. That way the game should be in hand, just like you started up doing with Nebraska, and Nebraska was doing to Colorado. But continue, brother.
No,
oh, I was gonna
let me
say
get Tim in here. Go ahead.
no. I was gonna say, Harry. I agree with you with like the NIL got to get a hold on this because this type of thing and a little bit of pushback to what Panda stated. Yes, guys sit out of bowl games, but guys don't sit out after the fourth game of the season.
Right.
That just don't happen. Okay, now they got to get a. I feel like they got to get a tight knit grip on this thing because if you want to be paid all this money and y'all not signed any contracts, to me, number one, that's just crazy. But if you get into a point where you say, "Hey, we're gonna give you $2 million," you sign your contract. You don't have to stay with them for two seasons. But if they want to do like this kid from UNLV done, treat it like they treat the NFL. Oh, you want to sit out? Okay. Each and every day that you sit out is gonna cost you.
We're gonna cost you. Right. We're gonna
It's
charge
kind
you
of
for
like
that.
what they did to CD Lamb. It cost them like 40, if I'm not mistaken, $44,000 a day.
We'll
Trying to
take back some of that 3,000 that we've been paying
exactly.
you. We're gonna take back $1,500 every single day that you red shirt. It's gonna get ugly, guys. When money's involved, there's no real like people. These companies that are giving this money, they're not giving free money away because you're a good player. This is not free money, okay? So I think people just thinking like, oh, because you're good, we're just gonna give you free money. No, it's about it. It's an obligation to promote their product or to promote something. It's not free money because you're good.
It's an investment.
It's an investment. It's an endorsement deal
Hold on, right? It's an investment that is
on the part
guaranteed.
of the company.
Yeah, but the company is investing because they getting kickback to concession sales and to ticket sales. So let's not pretend like this is a good faith effort. This is business. So
That's why I
business.
said it's not
Oh,
free
wait,
money.
here's my
Harry, can I get 30
confirmation of
seconds?
my point. Business goes both ways. We can no longer, especially as minorities, look at businesses on behalf
Wait.
of the business. We
What are
have
you
to
doing?
look at business on behalf of the individual who looks and likeness is being put forth, and the person who putting up the money. What happened was the NCAA was sued and found it more favorable as a business decision to become hands off. What is happening to us, because we are football lovers, we are treating college like it is still back in Nick Saban time. It is no longer the same college experience that we grew up with. The adjustments have to be made mentally that we see college as semi-pro. Go ahead, Phil.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't have nothing else to say, but a lot of y'all be fixing y'all mouth to say Nick Saban name. And I really just think y'all need to keep his name out y'all mouth. Y'all can continue talking though.
Go ahead, see you, fan.
Phil, what you drank
Phil
today?
came in hot. Phil want beef. Phil got beef right now. He feeling some kind of way. Anyway, go ahead, see you,
Listen,
fan. Was that you?
I ain't had power. I've been thugging it out, man. It's been a rough day, so I just got some aggression. I'm sorry.
You got a little bit of aggression right there, and then you saying your wife can sit down and all of that. I hope she's not in the room. Anyway, see you, fan. See you, fan. Did you wanted 30 seconds on that topic? We about to move on though.
Okay, look.
Oh man,
the one thing that we need to understand, I forgot what show it was, JB show or something like that. It was a show that I watched, and what they were talking about is how college is failing and the teams are no longer irrelevant. It's all about the players now. The way everything's turning out, this is bad for the sport. This. It was so much negativity towards the aspect of football. But let me say something. That is a dinosaur way of thinking. That is the old way of thinking. The new concept of what everything needs to be looked at is the player. The courts, as Panda said, the court said, you guys are wrong. We're going to put it in the player's hands. And it became a business model. Colleges have been making millions of dollars. Why do you think this SEC is so they can get every player that they want? They've been doing it under the table. Hey, we're going to hand you a little bit of something. Well, if you come to play for us. They've been doing it under the table. Now they can do it on the table. But now it's bad that it's on the table. No,
but I think you're arguing something that's not on our table. I think you're arguing something that's the general idea of NIL. Like you're caught up in a conversation we're not having. I don't think nobody's saying NIL is bad on this panel. We're talking about his personal decision. If it's true that he was paid the money and making a decision to sit out on the team, how does that look to you as a teammate, right? Because Phil is still here, right? Two things can be true at one time. It can be a good thing, but now as a business decision, you got to consider who you're giving up on. You go into war with your guys, and you play. Hold on. You go into war with your guys. You play with your guys, and you are the leader of that team, as from a quarterback standpoint. And now you're giving up on your guys for money. So while NIL is great, and while all of these things are great, it's also true that you got to consider your decision is going to have an effect where some guys may not give you that pass to say, well, we don't want him over here, because what happens if he gives up on us when we're winning? So there's a lot that's in play here. I don't think we're having a conversation about NIL being bad.
Okay, but my aim wasn't to say like that was the perspective of it. My aim was the business perspective, because let me tell you something. How many college players or people do you still know? You went to college. How many of them do you still know? Out of all the thousands of people that you either were with, played with, or whoever it was, how do you still talk to them? Are you still with them? Do you know them? When's the last time you spoke to him? He's making a business decision, and in the end, I don't know you at the end of the day. I don't know who you are, because of the fact that in 10 years, that decision that I made, or he made, I should say, affected him, not you, because I decided to make something for myself as a business decision.
Right. Okay.
So
But
I
I
got a
would
question
respect
for
that.
man.
Hey, can I say something to that?
the question
Go
is, do
ahead.
you believe that it was a good business decision when you look at the totality of everything, not just from one standpoint of NIL? Do you believe that giving up on your guys mid-season, guys who are supposed to, you're supposed to have their back, you're supposed to lead them into war, and do you believe that sending that message during the whole season, during the part of the season, you think it's a good idea to send that message, aka good business decision? Just get 20 seconds on that.
So let me just say
No,
this,
no, no. I
DC, real quick.
want you fan to get 20
Okay. Go
seconds
ahead.
on that, and then I'll give it to you, DC.
I'll follow after you, DC.
See you fan, you still here?
Yes.
Okay, so give me 20 seconds. Answer that question. Do you think giving up on your guys for money is a good decision going forward, even if you end up somewhere else? Are the players going to be on your side, thinking like you did your thing? We going to play for you no matter what?
Okay. Think of it like this. Okay. Think of it like this. When someone gets a job, you go there, you get to meet those people, you do the best you can to do what you can to get the job done. Everybody works around you. They're like, man, we can make a great team and whatnot. But then you make a business decision and say, you know what? I think I'm better somewhere else, or I'm going to make money somewhere else because they're offering me more money. I don't care what anybody says. I've been at companies where it's like 5 years been there, and then I find out that these people don't want to pay me the money. I'm going to jump to another place and make more money. The perspective is, it is a business decision, regardless of how anybody looks at it. At the end of the day, the jobs that I've had in my past life, I don't know them. They don't affect my life anymore. So I look at it as like, he's making a decision. He doesn't need to know people. And you know what? That right there will eventually.
I don't know you're talking about football. We're not
That's
talking about
selfish as hell, though, man. That's selfish as hell.
You're
if you
not
ask me,
talking
but,
football. From a football perspective, go ahead, Tim.
Oh, I want to say this to see that's CU, right?
CU fan, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
CU fan, and to the rest of the panel too. Listening at the statement that was written, right? And I'm sitting back thinking to myself, this whole thing is a key word, family. His family looked at his ability and his capabilities. As family, sometimes we can sit back and paint something into our kids' mind or family members' mind that hurts them tremendously. I guarantee you, his family probably thinking and seeing other athletes across this spectrum and the type of money that they are making. Everybody does not make that type of money. So I feel like they probably saying, well, he's getting this person getting this, and they coming together and forming their own meeting and then bring him in and saying, hey, you know what? You could get paid this. You could get paid that. This guy's getting paid this. This guy getting paid this. Bronny James getting $8 million. The gymnast from LSU getting paid $8 million. Shador Sanders getting paid $6 million. Travis getting paid X amount of millions. You could be one of the same ones.
Mm-hmm.
So it creates something in his mind to say, well, you know what? My family may be right, but in
Right.
actuality, they just as crazy as all get out.
From a football perspective, I feel like I agree with what CU fan is saying. If it was like a different environment, but the football environment, this is a bad thing on his part, right? I want you to get your money by all means. I'm an advocate for the NIL. Get your money by all means. But from a football perspective, I wonder, and I don't know, but I wonder what players think of another player quitting on their team and then possibly getting that player on their team, would they consider that to say, hey, yo, hey man, you had to get your money. When he gets there, obviously he has to have conversations with the head coach and with the other players, because he's going to be the quarterback, hopefully, right? So he's going to have to explain himself like, yeah, man, it was doing me dirty. I ain't going to quit on you boys. I'm here to play. As long as they give me my money, I ain't going to do you boys dirty like that. But that question is going to be always in their mind, in the back of their minds. Is this Negro about to quit on me? Because he did with his boys. So that's why I say that's the what's her name. But anyways, you know what? We got to get up out of here. But let me get my last. This is the final thing we got to talk about. I want the question. Give me the one question. We're going to end the show with this. The one question or the one box that CU has not checked yet to make them legit. We're going to start with you, CU fan. You got 30 seconds. This is your final thoughts. Wrap everything into that. What is the one question or the one box that Colorado football 2024 has not checked off yet to make them a legit, viable college football team? Go ahead. 30 seconds.
The one thing is win against a very good team. And winning against one good team is basically having everything put together: offense firing on all cylinders, defense, special teams, everybody firing on all cylinders. That's the one thing, because in the past teams, I mean, they weren't very good. The only very good team that they went against was Nebraska. So unless you win against a very good team firing on all cylinders, I don't think that. I mean, that's what I'm looking for right now.
All right. So that's your final thoughts. That's all you got. Copy that. Okay. Panda, question is on you, man. Microphone is yours. What's that one question that CU hasn't answered yet, or that one box they didn't check yet to make them a legit competitive football team?
Retain talent. If they could keep the talent from transferring, that will make them a staple program that could be built upon. I think that is something that we overlook when it comes to players transferring. That is considered quitting on a team. So Caleb would have quit on his team. I could go on and on listing people who would have quit on their team. Ward would have quit on his team by going to Miami. We could go on and on. I'm a steal Grassino's comment. I think consistency. We have the ability to show spurts of running games, spurts of offense, but we have not have a quick start. We have not have a consistency. And like I said the last time, CU is consistent at being inconsistent.
Look at this guy trying to go deep. Feels so real, my God. The microphone is yours. What is that one question that Colorado has not answered for you? That one box they didn't fill out to be a legit college football contender this year. I ain't talking about what that stuff Panda's talking about. Panda didn't understand the question. Go ahead.
No, but I did what Panda's saying, because I've always said inconsistency is a form of consistency. But Colorado hasn't proven to me that their head coach is smart enough to make the right decisions in the right moments to win the game, instead of having the other team lose the game so Colorado can get a win. I do not have faith in their coaching, specifically their head coach.
My coach got a yellow jacket.
Lost me 10 more subscribers, but I can take
as a football player, right? As a coach, what do you got?
My coach got a yellow jacket.
Hey, there's no battle on final thoughts, okay? We can't.
Fat guy in a little coat, right?
Phil,
thank you, man. I'm glad
thank you for losing me 10 more subscribers. I appreciate you, Phil. DC.
I'm just thinking that his light should go again. I don't know.
DC, what is the one? You got the question. Answer the question. That got it.
Yeah, just real quick, as because I had a call came on when I was on that last thing, is that, folks, I totally get it's business, but there's one thing in business you better know, and you better know it, otherwise you're gonna make a ton of mistakes, and that is you better know how much leverage you have. Because if you don't know what leverage you have, you can't gonna go in there and you might be going there asking too much, and people will call you. That's a skill set, and not everybody has it. So I encourage you, if you're going to make business decisions with wise people who understand leverage.
And,
As far as
and we have an example of that, right? What is that? Schroeder from the Lakers. Then
I
he
believe
turned
so.
down an $80 million contract, and then ended up getting like half of that with the Celtics or something like that. And then he had to come back to the Lakers. I think Dennis Schroeder is probably the best example of misinterpreting your leverage.
Yeah, you better know what it is. And I see a lot of people don't. But as far as CU, I think CU has to be able to play a complete game. You need to beat the crap out of the people you're supposed to, like the CSUs and the Baylors. And you need to get in there. If you want to get the respect, you're going to have to go in these big name teams. You're going to have to go in there and win. If you do that, you'll get it. If you don't, it's going to be status quo. But I look forward to seeing them, and I don't think that Deion Sanders is not smart enough to make the plays. I just think it's that he's learning that sometimes his gut as a player is different from when he's sitting over there on the sideline and managing all that he has. But if he continues, he's gonna get better.
Wait. So was that two questions for you that they haven't
No.
answered, or was that one box they haven't?
I want to get your 10 subscribers back. That last one was to get the 10 subscribers back.
Oh, you're cleaning up Phil's dirty work here. I see what you did there. Phil, tomorrow we got the game day, okay? Don't screw this up, Phil. Be ready for your commentary because you just lost me 10 subscribers with that Coach Prime hating comment that you just said, okay?
What you see what UCF gonna do to Colorado, you probably gonna lose more after what I'm gonna have to say, but that's neither here nor there.
There I go again.
Why you had to leave on that note, bro?
Oh, this guy is impossible. Anyway, Tim Smith, please clean this up for me. What is that one question? Phil, listen, man.
I gotta make up a lost time.
Hey, Phil, go grill some chicken, please, because you need something happened, okay? That energy went and you something happened.
Protein.
Yeah, man.
It's
Hey,
that
Tim.
Helena effect.
Yeah.
What is the one question Colorado hasn't answered for you in that one box that Colorado has not checked for you?
Chemistry on the front line. And to keep Shador upright. They came in with don't touch two, but it seemed like he's getting touched the same amount as he did last season. So I'm looking for chemistry on that front line.
Just this plea that goes, don't touch
to
two,
be able to
touch.
Throw them shirts away.
Yeah, to be able to come together and play as one unit. And
Tim, you asking for too much.
I'm also my keys to victory for tomorrow is to be able to tackle and also the linebackers not overrunning their assignments in the gap lanes and just contain UCF running back just as much as possible.
All right, final score prediction, Tim. We're going backwards now. Final score prediction, quickly.
32-28.
Who?
CU.
See, okay. Don't say like I don't know. I'm coming to DC next, so I don't know what he's gonna say. DC's final score prediction, quickly.
Can I just give if CU's gonna cover or not?
You're not running from me. I don't care. Go ahead.
All right, man. I'm just be honest with you. 42 to I would say 28. UCF. I just think they win the time of possession. And again, if they do win the time of possession, I don't care how great 2 is and how good 12 is. 2 can't throw nothing when he's sitting on the bench and somebody got 40 minutes of time of possession on you. So that's where I'm going.
2 negative things back to back.
Hold on, guys. Hold on, man. You get your mic. Come on, calm
It's
down.
not that.
Calm down.
You have DC then Phil.
It's okay. We don't have to listen. Everybody don't have to think like you, Panda. Relax, okay? Phil So Real, final score prediction, please.
Colorado.
Be easy on my heart, please. Be easy on my channel, on my subscriber.
Colorado 31, UCF 27.
So you guys see you winning, even with your nemesis Prime on the sideline.
I'm riding them until they lose.
Pause. But okay.
Are you okay?
Pause. You riding a bunch of men? Pause.
Are
Anyway,
you
I'm
okay,
grown,
man?
man. Yeah, I'm good. I'm going with CU until they lose.
oh
That,
man.
that
Welcome
way
back
can't
to the
nobody call
fold,
me a
bro.
hater. That way can't nobody
Welcome
call
back,
me a
man.
hater.
Oh, two
I'm
things
trying
can
to
be
make
right
my
at the
way
same
down
time.
to Macon, man.
Hey, Phil, that's your thing. Two things can be right at the same time.
Right, exactly.
All right, Panda, what is your score prediction? Be easy on CU, please.
I think it's gonna come down to matter. It's gonna be a dramatic thing to matter. I say we win by 3, 31-34.
Okay, CU fan. You get the last word. What is your final score prediction?
As much as I want CU to win, I don't think they're going to win. I think final score is going to be 38-14, and the reason they lose is because Prime's inability to control the clock.
All right, let me clean this
Clock
up.
gonna
Let's
clock
leave
them.
it on a good note. Let's leave it on a good note. I've got a feeling. I got this feeling. All right. Now, I don't know if you remember this statement that I made, and I said that Colorado is going to beat one of these big teams to really establish who they are. I believe that Colorado is going to make this game their coming out game. And this game is going to be.
I'm coming out.
That's right. I believe this game is going to be Colorado 38 to, and please somebody put this on the screen tomorrow. 38 Colorado to 27 UCF. That's what I believe. I think UCF is going to be 27. Colorado is going to be 38, and it might be more, but I'm just going to be conservative. I think it might be a 40-point game for Colorado tomorrow, but I'll stay on the conservative side and say 38. Hey, can somebody write that down? I have my pen. Okay, Harry. I'm just going to put Harry. I'm not writing the rest of y'all down, but I'm going to go 38 to 27 CU, but it could be in the 40 plus points could be. Okay? That's what my prescription is. So I'm just going to put Harry. So I will see y'all tomorrow because the game is what time is the game?
3:30 Eastern on Fox.
Oh,
I thought it was 12. I thought it was noon.
I thought it was
No,
a
I
day
think
game.
Big
A
Noon.
morning game.
3:30 is the day game. Big Noon kickoff is there, but it is not the noon game. It is at 3:30 on Fox.
Okay, so it's 3:30 on Fox. We got an early game. I'm glad we have an early game, so I can get some rest. All right.
Harry, I got a question though. I got a question real quick before you go. I got a question for everybody.
Yeah.
Who do you think has more viewership? UCF, CU, or Bama, Georgia?
UCF, CU all day, bro. CU is the hottest. Did you not listen to Phil when he came on this show? What's
My
wrong with
answer
you?
is Bama. My answer is Bama, Georgia.
I don't care.
Chat, what y'all got? Panel, what y'all got? And then we out.
Hold on. Oh, so hold on. We're going. Ooh, you said Alabama. Oh yeah, Alabama, Georgia. What time is their game?
7 o'clock.
About 6? Yes.
7:30.
Yeah.
Bama,
Alabama all the way.
Hold on. They're on the island.
Bama, Georgia.
Wait, Bama, Georgia's on the island all by themselves?
No, it's
I mean,
other
it's gonna be
games
some
on
other
around that
7:30
time.
games.
Yeah,
I
but
think
Bama,
Utah
Georgia,
and Arizona, right?
Whoo-wee. I'm gonna go with CU. I'm going Bama, Georgia, or CU, and that's viewership. I'm going with CU, but dang, they're at 7 o'clock, and nobody's gonna care about those other games. And Bama, Georgia is a big game. Whew, man,
That's a huge game.
Yeah, this is a tough one.
I think CU may have more viewership, even though I know that Georgia Bama game. I understand that game, but I think CU may have more viewerships because they've been this game right here, man.
It means a lot.
They got 100 recruits then sold out.
Dude,
But it's crazy.
70 of those are coming or actually, hold on. I don't know what I was about to say. But go ahead, Phil.
It's crazy to think that it's this much hype between two unranked teams.
No, there's not two unranked teams. It's CU. So don't get it twisted.
But this
is what I said a true statement? Or
No,
either of those?
it's a half. You got a half a statement.
Oh my God. Okay. Okay. Again,
Is it not half? Phil, is it not half?
The
What it
two
is,
teams
Phil,
are
both
ranked.
teams are
Full stop.
one-dimensional.
It's because Colorado is playing whatever team Colorado plays, they get the hype too because they just happen to be playing the best.
I'm sorry.
Like you said,
You right, Dan Landing. You right, Dan Landing.
Look, if CU stops the option, they win the
who
game.
needs friends like y'all?
Man, DC, keep your thing. I don't want you to switch back on my side.
Hey,
Still
oh, you know
good.
what? No, I'm going with CU with the viewership against Bama and Georgia. I'll definitely be watching, but I'm going with CU with the edge. CU's going to edge them out by maybe a few hundred thousands.
CU's numbers have been going down lately.
Hey, DC, is this a
What
battle
up?
of who can stop the run or who can stop the pass game? That's why they're going to get more viewership.
You know what? No, it's about who got the most shine, Tim. See, you got to understand. It's
Talk
about
that talk,
gold jacket.
DC.
It's about 24 karat gold jacket magic
Hey, I
in
gotta
the
go. Somebody's
air.
at the door. I got to
Go,
go.
bro.
All right, guys. Y'all take it easy. I'm out of here.
Y'all be blessed.
Peace.
Stay safe.
Everyone be blessed, man.
Thank you.